Chaminade, as every player on both of these championship teams will be recognized in front of their family and friends and fellow students here inside the Edward Jones Dome. And Jim, let's look at your keys to the game for both these ball clubs.
For Chaminade, it's really, really simple. What you've got to do is you've got to weather the storm. Fort Osage is going to throw everything at you early and often. You just have to weather it. You've got to take that punch, and you've got to be able to respond to it. And then the last part of it with the whole scenario is you've got to ground and pound. They've got that running game. They get that running game going. That's going to give them the victory tonight. For Fort Osage, you got to put the pedal to the metal. It's that simple. You got to get going, and you've got to go right from the opening kick and try to put Chaminade away early. And finally, the last key that we're going to look at is air it out. I think they got to pass the ball a little bit tonight. If there's one thing Chaminade is maybe the Achilles heel, it's going to be that secondary. And so Fort Osage will be interesting to see if they can take advantage of that.
A secondary that, ironically enough, has 10 different players with a pick, which is just unheard of. We've seen guys tonight that have had 7 interceptions, but to have that many guys with at least one is a crazy statistics as both teams' captains meet at midfield tonight. Fort Osage will wear the whites with the black helmet. You see Chaminade and the familiar red with the red helmets, the white pants trimmed in red, the Chaminade C there on the side. Take a look at one of our focus players, Jim. First of all, you talk about the quarterback, the future K-State standout, Skylar Thompson for Fort Osage.
What a year he's had. He's thrown it almost 200 times, completed 129 of them for 1,874 yards and 21 touchdowns. But big key, only 3 picks for the young man. He can also get it done on the ground. He's run for nearly 900 yards, so very multifaceted. Does a great job in reading and able to move this ball club and really handle the offense.
Speaking of offense for Chaminade, their quarterback and focus player is number 14. That's Michael McGovern.
Once again, great young man, manages the game so well. Last week against Carthage, just really had a phenomenal afternoon in the mud and the mess over at Chaminade in the state semifinal. He's had a fantastic year himself, 75 completions for 129 attempts, 1,200 yards, 15 touchdowns. He's only thrown 3 interceptions.
Well, neither one of these teams turned the ball over, and this may be the lowest number we've seen. Fort Osage only has 8 turnovers on the year. Meanwhile, Chaminade has only turned the ball over 10 times, so both of these teams well under a 1 turnover per game average. They're very, very stingy with the ball, but they can turn an opponent over very quickly.
Absolutely, and that's, once again, that's going to be one of the big things to watch, is just that battle of turnovers. We see two teams that are very, very good at causing the turnover and cashing in, like you mentioned in the open. Now, who can turn the ball and who can make somebody turn it over?
Coming out to get us started for the Chaminade Red Devils is their kicker, senior 5'7", Drew Bozeski. Bozeski wearing number 16. He will take care of the kicking duties. Fort Osage will send 3 players deep for the return. And the fans for both of their teams heed the warning of the public address announcer and come to their feet. We've got 7 champions crowned. We've just got 1 more between these 2 teams. Chaminade will have the ball to start the second half. The fans are up, the teams are ready, and we're ready to bring it on home. The final championship of this Thanksgiving weekend tradition in St. Louis. The music is loud, the crowd is loud. And Bozeski puts the ball in play. A spiraling kick right down the middle will be fielded at the 5-yard line. Brought out and met quickly just short of the 20-yard line for number 24 that time. On the return, it was Bailey Williamson, a 6'2" senior.
And doing a great job getting down from the gunner position for Chaminade. Really, really working very well. Bryce Johnson, we're going to see a lot of him on the offensive side of things. Does a really nice job defensively as well for Antoine Torrey and this Chaminade Red Devil team.
So Jim told you about Skylar Thompson, the quarterback for this Fort Osage team. A dual threat quarterback, almost 1,000 yards on the ground, close to 2,000 yards in the air. And right behind him will be the featured back, Isaiah Elo, and Elo spins and has nowhere to go. The Red Devils all over him that time. Andre Watley, the second, among others, in on the stop.
What an outstanding job he does. You're going to see him come in on a stunt and able to just get right into the gap that the runner was going to try and go through, and he just got his nose in there and made the tackle. Good work. Way to set the tone here on the first play of the game.
Johnson, the 6'1 junior, in on the stop. No gain on the play. 2nd down and 10 from the 20 now. And the quarterback, Thompson, will go ahead and do it himself. Pick up about 4 yards, almost 5 yards on the 2nd down carry.
That play got set up right at the point of attack, the line of scrimmage. The offensive line opened up a really, really nice hole. You'll see the kick-out block. And he's able to get 5 yards to make it 3rd and manageable. But good work by the O-line, especially that right-hand side.
Bailey Williamson on the carry. Now there's trips to the near side for Skylar Thompson. He's got a single back with him here on 3rd down and 5. He looks back over to the sideline, checks with head coach Ryan Schartz. Now he'll check down here, a quick throw to Matthew Smith. Smith turns upfield, but the Red Devils are there. A gang tackle takes him out. It'll be 4th down, and slow to get up that time was Matthew Smith. There were a lot of tacklers on top of that dog pile.
You know the saying, a lot of defensive coaches say, meet me at the ball. Well, that's what the Red Devils did right there. Great work. You're going to see them come into pursuit, stay in their lanes, and that's exactly what they did. And that's what made that play successful for them, was they didn't take the fakes. They got off the blocks and was able to make the tackle.
The punter is also the quarterback. That's Skylar Thompson, and a knuckling punt will go out of bounds, and the Chaminade Red Devils will have great field position to start their first offensive series as that one flies out of bounds near midfield. That last tackle by Whitley, the 68th tackle on the season for him. He's the 2nd leading tackler on the Chaminade defense as you get a good look at their student section.
The Red Army here in full force this afternoon and early evening. And they have had a lot to cheer for over the last year or so. We'll talk a little bit about their basketball team throughout the night. But, yeah, the Red Army and the Chaminade folks, as well as the Fort Osage folks, a lot to cheer about in this championship game.
Michael McGovern hands off to Darius Days, the 5'9 junior. He's got the carry on 1st down. He'll pick up about 4 yards. And Darius Days, one of the bevy of running backs we'll see, averages about 6.5 yards a carry.
He is sneaky fast, and he's so elusive. Being 5'9", you're not going to be able to find him when he starts getting washed up in the mix with the offensive line.
Only 3 down linemen on the defensive front this time for the Indians. They'll change the running back just that quickly, and not much luck. No gain on the play as they turn the ball over to Damon Bonds.
And you know what? Look at Alex Chavez getting in there, once again coming off the block, making a nice tackle in the backfield, and now it makes it 3rd and long for the Red Devils. Let's see what Entre Torrey is going to dial up as we take a look. You're going to see Chavez just come through, came off of the edge, and make the tackle.
Kind of helped up that LaRon Green, one of the offensive linemen, kind of got blocked back into the runner. So 4 wide receivers in the formation now. The Chaminade quarterback back has his target. He has a 1st down and more. Running away from the pack is Reggie Crawford Jr. He's at the pylon, but they say he was pushed out. They say it. Touchdown. Touchdown, Chaminade.
Absolutely. What a great pattern. What a great play. And the Red Devils strike first.
You said it, Jim, in the pregame. They've got to get something done in the air today. Everybody knows about the ground game, and this does it. Almost 50 yards on the hookup. Reggie Crawford, the leading receiver for this team, showing what he can do in open space.
Crawford, great possession receiver for the Red Devils. Really does a nice job, ran a great route. I tell you what, that play was also set up front. The offensive line gave McGovern a lot of time.
Bozeski on the extra point is good, and Chaminade jumps out to the early lead with 8:38 to go here in quarter number one. They lead the Indians 7-0.
It's easy to spot people who participated in high school sports and activities.
Right on time.
They learned important lessons like leadership, teamwork, respect.
Hey, our meeting moved to 10.
We'll be ready.
Values that last a lifetime.
We need to focus on 3 factors.
Support high school sports and activities in your community. When kids take part, they get set for life.
Bozeski set to put the ball back in play after a quick opening drive and score. A short field on a bad punt for Fort Osage, and the Red Devils are up in this state championship game of Class 5, 7-0. Mishandling the kickoff, and it's going to be a short return now. Nowhere to go that time for Bailey Williamson. He just misplayed it, Jim, right on about the 3.
And that gave the opportunity for the Chaminade special teams folks to get down and make the tackle. And you're going to see textbook right there by this Chaminade team. They stayed in their lanes. They came down. They found where the ball carrier was, and they rallied to get to him.
Fort Osage head coach Ryan Schartz, 11 years in charge of things. Former Ray Peck High School graduate, 4 years at Fort Osage as an assistant before he left and then came back to run things. Again, he'll dial up 3 wide receivers to the bottom of your screen, and Thompson, a great fake in the backfield, and he goes ahead and tests the left side of the line, gets good yardage on first down.
Yeah, they're letting him run that speed option and letting him make some decisions. You're going to see a great kick-out block right there by big number 72, Philip Kamlick, and really just able to open up enough space, pick up a 5, you won first down. You got 5 yards or more.
Ball on the 16 now. Second down, same formation. This time they'll give it to Elo. He finds a little bit of room and then has to hurdle the signage on the far side of the field.
It's a pretty athletic move over there trying to jump the signage.
He's a pretty athletic guy. In 12 games, Elo was a 1,000-yard rusher, over 179 carries, 9 touchdowns. He averaged 90 yards a game.
This young man is just an athlete. He's got great speed. Get him out onto the edge, let him go to work. That's where he's at the best part of his game, is trying to get him outside.
Well, and we saw it in the John Burroughs game, Jim. Sophomores led the way for John Burroughs. Elijah Elo, a sophomore as well, so a young talent here. 3rd down and 6. Thompson looking, buying time, and he hits it. The home run ball tackled at the 25-yard line. He hooks up with Matthew Smith, the 5'9" senior wideout.
Smith with a great pattern. I mean, he just really did a nice job. But then you get the inside right there, 59 yards. You get the line giving the quarterback a lot of room to maneuver, but you're going to see great line play. Skylar Thompson rotates over, sets his feet, lets it fly. This is just a great pattern. Took it right down the seam, 59 yards, and now Fort Osage in business.
They're doing it in the air right now as well. Another good pass just beyond the reach of the wide receiver that time, Bailey Williamson. And Williamson is one of those players that is very versatile for this Fort Osage team. They'll line him up in the backfield. They'll line him up in the slot. They'll send him out wide. The coaching staff can use him in a variety of ways.
Tried to run the wheel route right there, bring him inside, and then break him out to the corner. Just missed the connection, put a little bit too much air underneath the ball, did the quarterback that time.
21 passing touchdowns on the year, and this one, not a pass, but a bad pitch. And he got bailed out that time. Williamson able to get down on top of it. They'll lose a couple of yards here as they tried to run the option, Jim.
Thompson's very upset with himself. He knew he led him a little bit too far with the option. Got to make a better connection on that. 3rd down and about 13. Let's see what they're going to dial up over on the far sidelines.
They end up giving them a loss of 4 on the play here. The ball sits on the 29-yard line. Back to work is Thompson. He's flanked by Elo in the backfield. 3 wide receivers to Schuyler's left. A good touch on the ball. He throws it up top. No flag on the play. Coverage that time provided by number 3, Taylor Jeffries.
A lot of hand fighting going on, a lot of jostling for position. You're not going to get that call on a 50-50 ball like this. And plus, too, I think it was a little overthrown. I don't think it would have been able to be catchable anyway, but, you know, they were going at it a little bit. And guess what? That's the game of football. When you're matching up one-on-one like that, you're gonna get that hand fighting and that bumping.
And Thompson put it inside shoulder, not back shoulder. Probably a better chance to come down with that one if he goes to the backside. Big play here, 4th down. The Indians go for it. They've got a connection, but can they get to the yard marker? A spin, and it's going to be close. It could be a 1st down for the Indians.
All depends on where they're going to mark it. If they mark it right on the line, it's going to be a 1st down. And this is just a great route. Brought the running back out of the backfield, let him slide over into the flat, and was able to turn it up. Good job of tackling, but he just did a nice job in settling into the flat, and it's enough for the 1st down.
Bailey Williamson, the leading receiver on this team with over 522 yards. That was his 30th catch of 2015. Thompson now dives around one tackler, makes another miss, and dances his way in for a 15-yard touchdown.
Great read and seeing where the hole was going to open, but what impressed me even more was when he planted his foot into the ground and made a cut. That was really, really impressive, and we'll get a chance to see that here in a minute. But really just a super job in reading where the hole was going to be, but then making a cutback and making one of the Chaminade defenders miss the tackle.
That is the 19th rushing touchdown of the season for Skylar Thompson as the extra point is up and good for Fort Osage. That is his 40th touchdown of the season, and we've got a tie ball game with 6:26 to play in the first. It's 7-all between Chaminade and Fort Osage. More of this Class 5 championship in a minute. You're watching all the action on Mission.TV, a proud partner of the NFHS Network. Fort Osage gets the much-needed answer to Chaminade's opening touchdown, and we're locked up at 7 here in the Class 5 championship game, the final game of this holiday weekend here in St. Louis. The kicker is Keegan Lammering. Lammering squibs this one. It's caught by one of the up men, and a quick return from about the 35 out to the 47-yard line, bringing it back that time for Chaminade. It's number 31, and that's Peter Sheehan, 6'3" junior.
1st and 10 for Chaminade.
Nice work in the hands team there by Buchanan. He's one of those guys we're going to talk a little bit about too. Antoine Torrey, phenomenal job with this Red Devil team. Took it over last year and really has them going in the right direction.
Now their play has gotten physical. Look at that. One of the offensive linemen for Chaminade lost his lid. Marcus Greer, a big sophomore, has his helmet ripped clean off.
He's going to have to step up for a play. As you're going to take a look, guys battling up front, and that's what it's all about. We talked about in the open, Corey, weathering the storm. You get the first touchdown. Fort Osage comes right back, smacks you in the mouth. How do you react after that?
Darius Days on the carry. He picks up 3 yards. The ball now set on the 50. Chaminade had a better starting field position than this on their first offensive possession. Here they go on 2nd down. They'll give it this time to Damon Bonds, and Bonds is swollen under that time. A number of Indians in to stop him short of the 1st down marker.
Yeah, there's no rhyme or reason with how they rotate their running backs. It's basically, you know, these are what the plays are for certain guys. And they've been extremely successful. You see their road to get here. They knocked off some pretty formidable opponents, especially Pattonville and Rockwood Summit.
Michael McGovern will bring his team back to the line. 3rd down and 4 with the ball on the 47. 3 wide receivers in the formation for McGovern, and he's flanked on either side by running backs. A quick throw, and his receiver slipped down. Sliding down that time was Damon Bonds.
Just lost his footing, wasn't able to try and come back. McGovern threw it behind him just a little bit. Once again, you're playing on a totally different turf field here at the Edward Jones Dome, and so we've seen that happen all weekend long.
They will go for it here on 4th down, and they go ahead and pooch it. Quarterback sends it down to the inside the 15. And that's where Fort Osage will take over. Remember, you're watching live coverage of the Missouri State High School Activities Association Football Championships on the NFHS Network. NFHSnetwork.com/Misha is your destination for the most comprehensive coverage, championship action from the Missouri State High School Activities Association. From live games to full game replays to highlights, it's all there. Log on to NFHSnetwork.com/Misha.
Take a look there at the quarterback for Chaminade, Michael McGovern. He's only a junior. Does a really nice job, and Coach Torrey will have him around for one more season.
Right now, though, it's the future K-State Wildcat, Skylar Thompson, who's ready to lead his team back down the field, but they're going to have a long way to go. Quarterback keeper again on the option. Look at him breaking arm tackles, and he picks up 14 yards on 1st down. A strong effort by the signal caller for the Indians.
You have to be disciplined defensively against this type of quarterback. The DN, he bit on the ball fake, and then all of a sudden Thompson able to get through, break a couple tackles. That DN, it's so important to be very gap fundamentally sound.
Luke Hanley finally brought him down. Now he'll go back to the air. Hits Williamson. He spins and brings it back to the inside. Past 1 tackler, 2 tacklers. The 3rd man finally gets to him. Again, it's Luke Hanley, but a great job of elusive running, that time by Williamson. Bailey Williamson, the 6'2 senior.
Just a nice little out pattern, trying to get some space, and he just makes that little move, gets the defender to slip, and able to turn it back inside and pick up another 8, 9, 10 yards after the catch.
Williamson averages over 40 yards receiving in the game. Another option, and the quarterback keeps it and picks up 5. Does Thompson. Thompson tackled that time by Jacoby Buchanan.
Got to get a little bit of help over on that side. Thompson's been running a lot to the left-hand side, so some adjustments that you can make is slide the safety over. Almost kind of wash him out a little bit. That way you've got a spy on him.
Elo now totes the rock, and he'll dive forward, pick up a couple of more, be about 2 yards short as they look at 3rd down and short.
This Fort Osage team has just been tremendous all year. The only blemish was a 21-14 loss against Liberty North. And, you know, really what Coach Sharp said was just an outstanding ball game. Either team could have won. His kids just didn't make enough big plays.
And he said everything was going on that night, too. It was senior night. It was like a cancer awareness night. It was just everything under the sun went on that night. Liberty North has the only win against 2 championship weekend teams here, as Thompson has 1st down yardage and then some on 3rd and 2. The quarterback for the Indians does it all with his legs.
Yeah, he's starting to get going, and this is not what you want Chaminade to see. Is this right here. This is designed right from the get-go. Once again, that DN gets washed out. Thompson's able to turn it upfield and make positive yardage.
Thompson has enough eye black on to play shortstop for Keith Gutton and the Missouri State Bears. That is a lot of eye black for an indoor football game. 1st down and 10 out of the shotgun. Quarterback back to pass. He's flushed out of the pocket, and he'll go ahead and elude a couple of tacklers with his legs. Scamper out of bounds after picking up almost 7 yards.
Not many quarterbacks are able to get out of the pocket as quick as this young man, and really just a nice job. He sees the blitz coming.
Trevor Trout from a defensive tackle position gets the pressure along with 52. That's Justin Slimmer running him out of bounds, but he's able to pick up 6 on the carry. 4 wides in the formation now. He slaps and gets the ball. Thompson looks down the seam. He's got a man. Touchdown, Indians. Williams collects his 7th touchdown of the season.
Post pattern, hits him in stride, drops a dime. That's just an outstanding drive.
13-7, Fort Osage on a perfect pass out of the hands of Thompson.
Has the pressure coming up the middle, moves over, moves the pocket to his right, and just like I said, drops a dime into his receiver's hands. I tell you, Bailey Williamson with a great route, great drive, and that drive was set up because Skylar Thompson knows how to use his legs and was able to move the pocket and do some different things.
Kick is up and good, and just like that, the pendulum swings back to the Indians from Fort Osage. They've got a 7-point lead. We've got 3 minutes and 6 seconds to go. We'll be back with more from Show Me Bowl 2015 in a minute.
This event is brought to you by Olive Garden. Olive Garden is proud to be the official dining room of high school sports. With menu choices to please the entire family, as well as to-go and catering options, it's the perfect restaurant for your post-game dining. To find your nearest location or to order your meal online, visit olivegarden.com.
Skylar Thompson leads his team down the field. Jim, the numbers on this young man have been impressive here in the early going.
How about 5 of 7 for a $125 through the air, 7 carries for 62 yards, hooking up with his favorite receiving target, Williamson, already 3 of those 5 times for 63 yards.
And that last touchdown.
See the Chaminade fans trying to dial something up, and the Fort Osage fans over on the other side, they got a lot to cheer about here in first quarter.
Well, this kickoff again bounces. It's fielded by one of the up men. Take it across the 30-yard line, and maybe a big special teams play will get the Red Devils going. Number 21 on the return, Bryce Johnson, a 5'7" junior. A nice return. And Jim, Chaminade just seems no matter what to start around the 50.
Absolutely, and they've had great field position. First 3 drives have been right around the midfield mark. You get a touchdown on the first drive. You got to go 3 and out on the second drive. Now let's see what Coach Torrey wants to try and maneuver right now with McGovern. I think what you got to do is you got to just keep your pattern, keep working your system.
This time the give will be a quick one to Darius Days. There's a flag on the play. Days picks up almost 6 yards, but we'll see if this one comes back. A little bit of pushing and shuffling on the far side of the field, but going to have a penalty here.
Yeah, you're right there is where you're going to get it. You saw it on the corner. It's going to be a hold on Chaminade. You were able to just see that. Didn't get his hands around the front, was more to the side, and he had big old hand of jersey, so that's going to be a holding call.
Our crew for this Class 5 championship game, the referee is Bob Lade. Matt Simons is the umpire. Rodney Oxshire is the linesman. Kelly Martin, the line judge. And the back judge is Adam Teal, the 5-man officiating crew for this Class 5 championship.
Congratulations for them making it to the Edward Jones Dome. It's a big, big compliment whenever you're able to work one of those state championship games, and they've worked very hard at their craft to be here along with these great young men.
Darius Days is met immediately by the defense for Fort Osage, and you see running away from the pile is 92, Zachary Ingram, a big 6'5" senior, one of about 5 Indians in on the stop.
Absolutely, and once again, they tried to run the counter, not able to do it, just couldn't get the blocking scheme down correctly, and that just opened the floodgates for Fort Osage's D-line to get in there and just cause havoc.
It was a great, just a rip move by Fort Osage's pass rushing defensive end to get there. Now on 2nd and long, a quick pass will get no yardage. Quickly there to take him down defensively is 33, Jesse Reeser.
I like the idea of trying to get it out to the edge and trying to make something happen, but you've got to make sure you've got that downfield blocking set up, and they didn't have everything set up in order to make that play successful.
Darius Days loses a yard on the catch. It's 3rd and 21 now, and the Red Devils moving the wrong way. They're going backwards here on 3rd and long. 4 wide receivers for the junior, McGovern to work with. He buys times with his feet and comes back and throws it well beyond the reach of his intended target, Bonds.
He had Barnes coming across, once again, just didn't get the throw that he wanted. Bonds was coming over towards the sideline, threw it more to the inside. He's got plenty of time, able to move the pocket, but once again, just wasn't able to catch Bonds in stride.
Chaminade riding an 8-game win streak into tonight's championship game. Brazil back to punt for the Red Devils. Punt almost blocked. They run into him. That'll be a flag. It won't be enough, I don't think, here at 4th and forever. All depends on the call here, and we'll wait to hear what Bob Lade has to say. There's no return. Ball was touched down on the 12.
Chaminade is going to dodge the bullet. They're calling it the 15-yard variety, and I do believe that is an automatic first down, as you're going to see comes in from the edge, unblocked, and just really, now here's the thing, if you lay out and you get a piece of the ball, then all bets are off.
And there you have it. Chaminade gets a second chance on a drive that was going nowhere but backwards, as that time Kayvon Smith, a sophomore, runs into the kicker, roughing the kicker the call, and Chaminade and their head coach Antoine Torrey have a second chance here to keep things going, down 7 in this game.
Good call. Good call. I mean, when you have that situation, and that's where, as that player on the defensive side, you've got to be smarter than to just run into it. If you're going to sell out, and I get it. But when you're just running into them, that's just not a very smart play.
They fake the handoff that time to Days and come back to Bryce Johnson. Johnson stopped quickly that time. Jesse Reeser, who's been in on a couple of the last plays.
Once again, running that counter play, coming through, didn't get the blocking up front, and he's going to be stopped for no gain. I want to see them open the playbook up a little bit now. You kind of know what Fort Osage is going to do to you defensively. They're putting 7 up in the box right now because they know that you're looking to establish the run game. You don't have a safety playing over the top. I'm telling you, I would take a shot right now.
McGovern will go ahead and hand it off to Bonds. Bonds tests that right side, gets through the first wave of Fort Osage defenders, and dives forward on second down.
Good blocking up front. I tell you what, a nice block coming through the hole by his lead backer, Bryce Johnson.
Knee was down a couple yards back. I thought he had more than that. They only give him 4 yards on the second down carry. That'll make it 3rd and 6 here as they break the huddle. Bonds coming out of the huddle with the quarterback, McGovern. But the clock ends, and we'll have to wait on that 3rd and 6 play in quarter number 2. They'll put 12 minutes on the clock, and we'll be back right here on Mission.TV, powered by the NFHS Network.
National studies show that students who participate in activities like music, sports, and drama not only have better grades and attendance, but they develop the character to handle adversity, the grace to accept defeat, and the self-confidence to start over. Take part. Get set for life. Just a reminder, kids who participate in high school activities tend to go a little farther than those who don't. Take part. Get set for life.
On a big 3rd down, Chaminade keeps the drive alive. McGovern.
Good work by McGovern. Good route being run out on the edge by Paul Novelli III, and was set up. You're going to see just a dig route. Saw exactly where the chains were, got to it, turned around, and the ball was right there. That's what you're talking about. Great relationship.
Kevin Costanzi Jr. on the stop, and you see that mistake so many times, Jim, where they don't go all the way to the sticks. And that time he did a great job to go past him and still have room on the dig to come back and make sure he had enough for the first.
Absolutely, and you see here, once again, you get the pass. Now you're coming back to the run. Starting to mix things up. You've got to get Fort Osage on their heels a little bit and make them start to guess on what you're going to do. One of these plays, they're going to guess wrong, and you're going to be able to break the big one.
Bryce Johnson gets about a yard on the first down carry, 2nd down and 9. Here is McGovern, walks him back to the line. Clock winds, but no rush right now in a 14-7 matchup here between these two Class 5 teams. Play action pass. McGovern doesn't see the blitz coming. He's hit hard in the back, and the pass falls incomplete.
Yeah, backside just absolutely caved in, and McGovern's going to be very sore after that, and you're going to see the blind side coming through, boom, and surprisingly able to get enough on the ball to throw it out of harm's way. But you see, line comes up and they just stand right there. They got no block. They got no forward momentum, and that's where you're going to get him through, and he's going to be able to knock down the quarterback.
Jesse Reeser, one of 2 players on the Fort Osage defense with 10 sacks. That was almost number 11. So another big 3rd down here. McGovern bootlegs to the near side. A great touch on the ball. He's got a man open, and he hits him for the 34-yard touchdown pass. Reggie Crawford does it again.
We talked about Skylar Thompson dropping a dime. What about this ball by McGovern? That thing went about 70 feet into the air and just rainbowed right into the hands of Crawford. You're going to take a look. Backside pressure, able to get it done, and he just lofts it up in the air. Crawford with an outstanding double move gets the touchdown, and guess what? You weathered the storm. You've come back, and you're now 1 point away from tying it.
Need the extra point to go through, and it does. With 10:54 to go, we are back to a tie ball game. Chaminade answering the call and getting the 7. And it's 14-14 here in the second quarter. Friends at Misha want to remind you that you need to protect yourself and those around you by getting your flu vaccine. It's your best defense against the flu. Annual vaccination against the flu is recommended for all people 6 months of age and older, unless they have a condition or medical reason not to get the vaccine. Stay in the game, get vaccinated, and help us tackle the flu. To find a flu vaccine clinic near you, go to mo.gov and click on the flu vaccine locator. This message is brought to you by the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services.
Tell you what, we're talking about 2 quarterbacks there just lighting it up right now. McGovern, 5 of 7, 86 yards passing for a pair of touchdowns. Crawford, the receiving end of both of them, 2 receptions, 77 yards.
Reggie Crawford now with 9 touchdowns on the season, and it's 17 passing touchdowns for McGovern, and a big boot now will be fielded at the 5-yard line. Bozeski, a nice kickoff, but an even better return here for Fort Osage. Crossing the 35-yard line is Williamson.
Good work by the receiving team. Special teams are so important when you get to the state championship game, and we're seeing some good special teams work here. Able to follow his blockers. Chaminade kind of got away from staying in their lanes and matching up, and a couple holes opened up. He does a nice job in stepping through, following his blockers, and getting some extra yardage.
Bailey Williamson was a 470-yard rusher during the regular season, a 522 yards receiving, and then you add in the punt and the kick return yardage, and this is a 1,000-yard guy at all-purpose yards. And now a little jet sweep goes to the far side. Matthew Smith turns the corner before Chaminade finally wrestles him down in the grasp of Johnson.
Johnson doing good work out on that edge. Didn't take the fake this time. Saw him coming through, was able to get off the block, step over, and make the tackle. That's just great work. That's just hanging with your instincts, getting off the block, and making a play.
2nd down and 6 now. Ball sits on the 40-yard line. Thompson claps and gets the snap. He's got to get out of the way of the pass rush. Leads his receiver to the outside, but he can't come up with it. There's a flag on the play back down where Thompson was taken down. The intended target was the senior Dante Dodson.
They're going to call personal foul, roughing the passer on Chaminade.
Two of the Red Devils defenders got back to him, and it's such a tricky situation on a call like that, and Bob Lade will make it here a referee.
Personal foul, defense, 15 yards from the previous spot. First down.
So you give Fort Osage the easy first down here and move the ball to midfield. Chaminade, you like the aggressive play. They're trying to get to Thompson, because if you don't start to get in this young man's face, if he takes off with the ball, he can beat you with his legs. If you give him time to get his feet under him and look down the field, he can beat you with his arms. That's the plus of having a dual threat quarterback, and he's done it already twice in this game.
Well, it's a double-edged sword. You're darned if you do, you're darned if you don't against a quarterback with such great ability like this young man.
Look at him roll all the way out to the near side, find a target, just like it's nothing. He hooks up with Kevin Rush for 10 yards and a first down.
Rush still making his way over. Really, really good work. He sees his quarterback rolling out, and he's just going to follow him. You're going to see him at the bottom of the screen. He's going to just keep dragging across. Sees his quarterback in trouble, and he's going to find a seam. And guess what? Does he keep the feet in? Absolutely.
1st and 10 now, and they give it to Elo. He tries to push the left side forward. Johnson on the tackle. Johnson on the stop, and he has been all over the field so far for the Chaminade defense here in the early going. He's got a great nose for the ball. Elo. And the quarterback, Skylar Thompson, though, still have the offense rolling. They pick up 2 yards on first down. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Game going back and forth right now. The defense is not getting into a flow while the offenses are really doing a nice job.
The officials stop play here before they can snap the ball. Chaminade calls their first time out here in quarter number 2. The coaches come out onto the field. The Red Devils, a great game against Carthage. Jim, you talked about it. They get the win 43-19. Nasty conditions, but they were led that day by the junior running back Damon Bonds. 19 carries, 120 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And the scariest thing coming out of it was Carthage coach John Guidey, who I have seen on more than one occasion, said the running backs are good. But his takeaway from the game was that the cornerbacks for Chaminade, you talk about Campbell and Jeffries, he said that's the best pair of corners he's seen all year.
Absolutely. And, those 2 young men are just fantastic. And they are part of this youth movement that has kind of taken over Chaminade. And last year, learning the system, learning the things that they need to do. This year, they've taken the bar and they've raised it. And it's led with those running backs and those 2 young men at the corners position.
Well, they'll try and test the corners here. It looks like 2nd down and 8. Trips to the top of the screen. Lone receiver to the bottom. Skylar Thompson looks over, checks with the sideline. 5 seconds now on the play clock. He gets the shotgun snap, and it's a quarterback keeper. He bounces off one defender before he's slung down to the ground. Picks up a couple more yards, but they're not to the first down stick yet. Watch here, nice bit of tackling by 91, Trevor Trout.
Once again, this was designed. It was going to be Skylar Thompson the whole way. Great work by the defense. They stayed home. They didn't try to, take the ball fake or anything like that, and they were able to make the tackle, and now it's 3rd and 5.
Thompson gets 2 yards on the quarterback keeper, and he drops back to pass. A short 3-step drop before he's flushed out of the pocket. Now he looks to tuck and run, and he's not going to get there. Flung out of bounds by Chaminade's defender, number 44, Luke Hanley.
Hanley is a young man that's just been very, very special for the Chaminade team all year long. Really a workhorse defensively. A lot of fun to watch. Just a lot of high energy out there. Really, really goes to work every day. He's one of those guys, he's going to put the hard hat on, going to bring the lunch pail, and he's going to get after it day in and day out.
A first-team All-Metro Catholic Conference selection. Hanley also plays lacrosse, multi-sport athlete. Now on 4th down, Fort Osage willing to roll the dice here in a tie ball game in field position, being at a premium on the 31. Thompson hops around in the pocket. It collapses. He finds a receiver, but he looks like he's short. He's able to connect with Matthew Smith, but it looks like they'll be 1 yard short of the marker.
Smith comes across the field on that drag pattern, saw his quarterback in trouble, but Thompson wasn't able to make it to the, get it across the line. And you're going to see steps up, throws. He had to get to the 25, and they're going to stop him at the 26. So Chaminade weathers another storm.
Andre Whitley that time, a very timely tackle as well, because it was the fact that Whitley was just a step behind him that allowed him to hold him up before being able to turn his shoulders upfield and get that 1 more yard. McGovern has 4 wide receivers in the formation, but he'll hand it up straight up the middle to Bryce Johnson.
Great momentum now generated. You get the touchdown. You bend, but you don't break, and you stop them on 4th down. Now let's see what Chaminade's able to do offensively. They've already been able to put 2 touchdowns up. This Fort Osage team is a very, very stingy team defensively. They have only given up 15.2 points a game, while Chaminade has been averaging nearly 40 points a game.
2nd down and long, 2nd and 8. This time the give to Bonds. Bonds forces his way through the pile, gets tackled down on the 30.
Slow, monotonous, ground-pounding attack. That's what this Chaminade team does.
Tackled by number 35, and say this with me, Jim, this is Jonah Tuimasevi.
We just say that guy.
We say that guy. Tuimasevi, one of several Pacific Island Samoan players. They've got a big population up around the Fort Osage area, and right now that was a big-time tackle, and it brings up a big-time 3rd down. They'll give it to Bonds, who crosses the formation, drives forward, and he'll be right at the marker as the Indians' defense tries to strip the ball.
Tell you what, that's just great work on both sides. You had the offensive line that's just working hard to try and get to the next level, to break open something for the running back. You got the D-line that wants to make the tackle. Nice job by the Chaminade offensive line for reading the twist that was happening up front.
We're going to get a measurement on this one as Bob Lade's crew calls over for the chain gang, and they'll bring them out here with 7 minutes and 3 seconds to go until halftime. See if Chaminade has enough for the first.
It's going to be about 2 inches short.
By that much. Today's game is also available for all the NFHS Network subscribers via our mobile website. Log on to the NFHSNetwork.com for your smartphone or tablet and view live games and replays from anywhere. 4th and inches. The scoreboard says 1, but that really doesn't tell the tale here, and you like your odds if you're Chaminade. With the stable of running backs you have, this is a play that Coach Torrey knows all too well. Look at the stack in the backfield. 3 backs behind McGovern, and there's a flag on the play. They moved.
Yep, offensive line, left side of it jumped, and you had every opportunity. All you had to do was just get it. You were in the wishbone, and you could see some very upset players out there. Left side of the line, and you got it right there. Now, instead of 4th and inches and going for it, you got to punt it away and give good field position to Fort Osage.
They back him up. We will wait for the punt here.
For Chaminade at their own 30. Back deep to return for the Indians, number 5, Dotson.
4th and 6 after the penalty. Dotson back just beyond the 40-yard line awaiting the punt. Chaminade's punter, a high hanging punt, great hang time, and he's not able to field it cleanly, but falling on top of it that time for Fort Osage was Dante Dodson. So 6:26 to go until halftime. We're still tied at 14. You're watching the Class 5 Championship here on Misha.TV, powered by the NFHS Network. Fort Osage and their quarterback, Skylar Thompson, ready to take things over in a 14-all ball game. 1st and 10 from the 34s. He's got 3 wide receivers to his left. Short drop for Thompson. The pocket collapses, and boy, there were 5 red jerseys in front of him, Jimmy. All he could do is slide down and live to fight another day.
Absolutely, and that's a smart play by the quarterback. He's going to drop back, looking over onto the edge, sees nothing. Great work by the D-line for Chaminade. Able to put a lot of pressure on him and no gain on the play. In fact, may have lost a half of yard.
Thompson now continues to run that check with me offense. He looks back over to the sideline. 2 different players calling in the play, different hand signals. They'll go for it here, 2nd down and 11. Thompson, a quick pass over the middle of the field. He's got the 1st down and more. Another great catch by Bailey Williamson. An 18-yard hookup, and Williamson's got another Fort Osage 1st down.
Williamson does such a great job in just finding an area. Doesn't matter how big of an area it is. He's got great hands, but he was able to find an area, turn around, and his quarterback, once again, great relationship between the two, able to find him. Big play, 1st down.
23 yards on the hookup, and they screen it out to the far side of the field. They've got Williamson again. He's gone. Taking it to the house for a touchdown is Williamson, 44 yards.
That play got set up over on the edge. Talk a lot about setting the edge when you're in the running game. Well, the edge was set this time on that swing pass by his wide receiver friend, Matthew Smith. Smith was able to get a nice little block. You're going to see it right here as he turns the corner. There's the block, and he's able to get through. And there's now a flag on the... And they'll count the touchdown, but it's a sideline warning on Fort Osage.
Maybe a little too much celebrating on that big 44-yard touchdown run by Bailey Williamson.
But yeah, as a position coach, you got to love when your guys are going to get their noses dirty and block, especially the wide receivers. Matthew Smith does a fantastic job.
Keegan Lammering will handle the extra point duties for Fort Osage. He is on, kicking out of the hold of Skylar Thompson. The deep snapper is Andrew Baxley. The kick is up and good, and we've been tied at 14 for way too long, say the Indians. They've got the lead now. They're up 21-14 over Chaminade. We'll be back with the kickoff after this. Andre Whitley back deep for the return with Novelli for the Chaminade Red Devils, but Fort Osage offense, Jim, hitting on all cylinders here as they get the lead 21-14. 5:17 to go here until halftime. The Edward Jones Dome. Lammering back to kick this one away, and before we can get going, there was a whistle, but we'll go ahead and send it on down Main Street here. The kick will be fielded at the 5-yard line, and the return is on for Chaminade. A good head of speed and stopping him dead in his tracks that time. Holy cow, Fort Osage had a gunner downfield, and that was number 45, Alex Chavez again. That's the second time we've called his name on kick coverage.
Chavez is just really doing a fantastic job, getting downfield, staying in his lane, making the tackle, and that's what special teams are all about. Chaminade, first part of the game, was the recipient of some good special teams play. This time, they are on the other end of a great play on the special team side for Fort Osage.
You mentioned it earlier, Jim. This team is young. A lot of juniors on this Chaminade team. Only 12 seniors on the roster for a Class 5 ball club. You'd expect a few more. Here's a good run. Running north and south this time. Advancing the play is number 21, Bryce Johnson. And again, they just keep rotating those running backs in and out, in and out.
Great job on the counter. Faked the handoff, got the guard pulling, and he was able to just tuck in right behind that guard, pick up some great yardage. You win first down. When I say you win first down, anytime you can get 5 yards or more, you win the down, and that's exactly what Chaminade did on this play.
McGovern moves his receiver back into the slot. 4 wideouts here, and he'll bring it to the near side. Whips it over to Reggie Crawford again, and Crawford met by 3 Fort Osage defenders and driven out around the 33-yard line.
Trying to work outside now. They're hitting it up the middle. They're trying to get some stuff going and some different things, and one of them is getting out to the edge. And a nice job. It only picks up 3 yards, but that is going to give Fort Osage something to think about now that they're starting to spread the ball around a little bit.
Good things happen when Crawford gets the ball. That time he wasn't able to break free. A good job containing Crawford that time by the Indian offense. So short, just a yard of the first down sticks, 3rd and 1. Holy cow, look at that hit. Blowing up the running back for Chaminade is big number 66. That is Sema Thomas. He's got 10 sacks on the year. He's the 2nd leading tackler for Fort Osage, and that's one for the highlight reel.
Yeah, he just knifed through. You're going to see him come right off of the position, boom, able to get off of his block and meet right at the running back.
McGovern pooches it away, and Chaminade down quickly to field it on the 23-yard line with 3:55 to go until halftime. So Fort Osage up 21-14 in this one. We said this Chaminade team a little young, a lot of juniors on the team, but I tell you what has impressed me in watching them and seeing the numbers all year long is it is a real team concept that Coach Torrey is preaching at Chaminade. When you have that many talented running backs, there's schools that would love to have one of them, but he's convinced all 4 of them to split their time, share the rock, and they've benefited by making it all the way to the dome.
Any of those 4 kids could start at the running back position at almost any school in the St. Louis area without any doubt about it. But it's about what kind of program it is, and that's what Coach Torrey's been doing.
Skylar Thompson is going to go play at the next level, and he's showing you just one of the reasons why. Almost 20 yards on the quarterback keeper for the future Wildcat as he's able to get Fort Osage back to midfield.
And once again, this is all about just great vision. He sees where the hole is, he steps through it, then he's able to just plant his foot and cut and pick up extra yardage.
Fort Osage hasn't played a St. Louis team since they lost to Matt Irvin's Kirkwood team back in 2012. Look at them pushing the pile now. Fort Osage going back to the back, and we've got a player down for Chaminade. As you get another look at the replay here of Elo.
Good work by the defensive front for Chaminade. Elo really working there as well, as we do have an injured player down on the field for Chaminade.
It looks like it's big 53, a junior offensive lineman, Justin Wims. I thought when you saw the replay, you kind of see his body in between the start of the dog pile and the bottom of the dog pile and kind of got turned a little bit. Not sure, but he'll receive medical attention while we wait. 3 minutes, 21 seconds on the clock here in this Class 5 championship game. There have been some great games this weekend, Jim. There have been some scary moments in these games, too, though. We've seen a lot of players, that have been hit. Luckily, most of the guys able to stay in the game this weekend. I know in the Class 4 championship game yesterday, I saw Caleb Potts take a hit that's one of the hardest hits I had seen all season, and he was able to stay on the sideline with his team, and it looks like that will be the case here for Justin Wims as well, as he now sits up under his own power.
Well, a lot of it has to do with the protocols and the measures that are in place, and also the coaches. They're really starting to educate their kids on how to tackle the right way and doing things the right way out on the field to maintain their safety. And, a lot of that credit goes to the coaches, the administrators, and the great folks at Bishop for, kind of getting some of those guidelines in order so that those protocols and those things are in place.
Justin Wims, the starting nose guard for the Red Devils. He walks off under his own power. He'll probably be replaced by LaRon Green, a big, fast, two-sport athlete at Chaminade, a wrestler.
Going to be wrestling for our good buddy Todd Schumacher here in the wintertime.
So it'll be 2nd down and 6. Ball just 1 yard short of the 50-yard line here. Fort Osage's offense, under the guidance of Skylar Thompson, comes back out to get to work. Will be a shotgun formation with 3 wide receivers to the near side of the field. Here come the defensive backs for the Red Devils. They'll go ahead, and Thompson will call his own number again. And wow, what a huge gap up the middle of the field. He's got a stiff arm. He's at the 15, the 10, tries to spin through one would-be tackler, and finally they bring him down at the 5-yard line.
I think Bill Snyder's kind of licking his chops a little bit, having this young man, going out to, play for him at K-State. What just a great move. Great ball fake. Holds on to it, and they're once again able to just really step up and make a big play. And he breaks a couple tackles along the way, gets it down to the 5-yard line.
Johnson finally makes the stop after almost 46 yards, and we told you he was a dual threat quarterback, and it's seeming to be an understatement here as he has done whatever he's wanted, whether it's on the ground or in the air. He's got his team up 21-14, and they're knocking on the door again. The give to Elo. He spins at the goal line and scores the touchdown from 5 yards out, and there's a flag on the play.
Have a feeling it's going to be a face mask call on Chaminade. I thought I saw Elo's face just get twisted, his helmet get twisted, and we'll go to our official.
Bob Layden, you're right on the money, Jim.
And you're going to see
there's
right
the face
there.
mask right there.
Yep.
And then, see, I thought there may have been a personal foul. I wasn't sure if that was a push
right
after the touchdown. But you had it, the face mask. That'll be assessed on the kick.
Face mask on the defense. Touchdown scores. Penalty on the field.
Skylar Thompson now 9 of 11 for 209 yards through the air, 12 carries for 128 yards.
How about 337 yards total offense for the young man?
That's some good math there, Jim. Extra point up and through.
The extra point is good. With 2 minutes
And just like that, 2 minutes and 50 seconds is all that remains until halftime. And Fort Osage is up now by a pair of touchdowns. They lead 28-14. And Skylar Thompson really showing us what it is meant to play Indian football this year. They have been able to move the ball really effectively here in the first half.
Yeah, we talked about a little bit ago how many points Chaminade's averaging a game. This Fort Osage team averaging 33.2 points a game. And they play an extremely tough schedule. When you've got the likes of Staley on your schedule, you've got Park Hill, who you had to beat to get here. It's not an easy thing to get through, and they did a fantastic job in maneuvering through that schedule this year.
In the Park Hill State quarterfinal, Skylar Thompson accounted for 6 touchdowns, 3 rushing, 3 passing. And they say if he runs early, it forces the defensive secondary to roll up, and then he just throws right over the top of them.
And that's what he's doing right now. He's going to force hands at one point. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of adjustments the Chaminade defensive staff will make at the half, because he's just absolutely torching you right now. You've got to figure something out. One of the easiest things you can do is put a spy on him and let somebody just be the designated guy, and wherever Skylar goes, that guy is going to go with him. But I don't know if there's an athlete on Chaminade's team that you can ask to match up in that type of thing against a very good quarterback.
Keegan Lammering, the beneficiary of the 15-yard face mask penalty. He's able to boot the kickoff all the way back and through the end zone, hitting the Welcome to the Championships Misha sign right behind the uprights. Get a good look there at Fort Osage defensive lineman. That's Melu Tanimahi, a 5'10" junior wearing number 99. He's got some serious hair covering up those numbers on the back. A bad snap, bobbled by McGovern, and now he has to run away. He's in the grasp, and he throws an interception. It's picked, running down the field and being knocked out of bounds for Fort Osage is number 43, Brennan Garrett.
But we have a flag down on the play. I'm very curious to see if they're going to call roughing or if they're going to call the horse collar.
I kind of thought he got the hand in the back of the shoulder pads. We'll wait and see here.
Personal foul. It's going to be a horse collar, so that will negate the interception. And if you're McGovern, you're very, very happy that that just happened, because that was just a very ill-advised throw. At that point, you've just got to eat it. You know, either throw it out of bounds, you're already outside the tackle box, get it out of bounds, or take the sack.
Otto Olberg with the penalty there, and Chaminade able to dodge a bullet. That was just one of those panic reactions, Jim. You know, you get out there, you feel the hand on you, you know you've got to get rid of it, and boy, Brennan Garrett did an incredible job to jump the route. You know, he wanted that interception, something fierce. He's got no interceptions this year, but he does have 5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and 2 fumble recoveries. So it would have been his first pick of the year, and it gets wiped off the board.
So Chaminade will have new life, so to say, in the drive. Instead of being the shadows of their own goalpost, they'll have it out to 35.
McGovern almost trips over the legs of one of his own players, and this time it is the result that Fort Osage was looking for. No flags on this one, as the sack is done by Jonah Tuimasevi.
Tuimasevi, great wheels, able to get through. You're going to see the rub right there, but then Tuimasevi just really coming through, coming off of his blitz. That was just a design blitz for him, able to get back to the quarterback and sack McGovern for a big loss.
Tuimasevi's 4th sack on the season. It makes it 2nd and 18. Ball on the 27, and we've got 2 minutes to play in the half. They'll give it to the back that dotted the I that time. It's Damon Bonds. Bonds gets a couple of them back here, and it'll be 3rd and 15.
I like it, dotting the I. It's a beautiful day to dot the I.
We've seen a few of those with some power running today, but I think
I was
talking about something else.
Ohio State over Michigan. There's a timeouts now called on the field. But in all seriousness, this weekend, it's a tradition for everybody here to come to the Dome for great football. Great football all around the country. And, this past Thursday, the big Turkey Day game, the 108th Thanksgiving Day turkey event between Webster Groves and Kirkwood. I mean, it's just so much fun Thanksgiving weekend. This is where everybody wants to be. Instead of at home eating turkey, they'd rather be here playing for a state championship.
I've got a tickle out of it. Social media has changed things so much over the last couple of years. But I was with my family out in St. Charles, and I was watching fans from Webb City and different teams posting pictures online, and they're at different restaurants here in town. They're at a TGI Fridays. They're at all these different downtown restaurants. That's where they spent their Thanksgiving.
Absolutely.
And they wouldn't trade it for the world. They want to be here on this holiday weekend every year. Chaminade desperately wants a first down here with 1:50. They've got to go 15 yards. McGovern gets the shotgun snap. He's flushed out of the pocket. Comes to the near side of the field. Has nowhere to go. The ball is loose. The ball is loose, and it's fought for along the near side. Chaminade comes up with it. That, Jim, is a perfect example of you've got to play to the whistle. There was never a whistle, but there were players staring at that football on the turf.
Yeah, great work again by the D-line. Really pressuring McGovern. He's got to roll over, and he tried to get rid of it, but nice work in getting the strip by Christopher Young, and then bodies just started flying to try and get the loose ball on the turf, and Chaminade McGovern actually able to come up with it.
Christopher Young, only a sophomore for this Fort Osage team. High school sports fans, you never have to miss another game. Become a subscriber to the NFHS Network to watch live event coverage, game replays, and highlights from high school sporting events across the country. Millions of athletes, thousands of games, one destination, NFHSnetwork.com. High school happens here.
Get a chance to see the great crowd over on the far side and the Fort Osage cheerleaders. It's been a fantastic weekend. A lot of folks making their way. The attendance has been really good this weekend here at the Dome.
You talk about Fort Osage and their road to the championship as the quarterback for Chaminade. That was Michael McGovern getting a little attention on the sideline here. They unstrapped the shoulder pads, and they're talking to him along the near side. 92 seconds is all that remains on the clock. Chaminade will send out the punter. Now McGovern has pooch kicked it the last couple of times. This time they'll send out Spencer Bryzeal, and Bryzeal has it blocked. The Indians get a hand on it. They're going to try to advance it, but they'll whistle it dead. Bryzeal, the first real punt of the day, after the quarterback McGovern had been handling the duties. Fort will be downed right on the 20-yard line.
Fort Osage has come awfully close the last couple attempts, and this time they just jailbroke all the way in and was able to get a hand on him. We'll take a look here. You had 4 people in there.
Recovery cannot be advanced, and they turn it over, and you see the Indians, the future Indians right there. You know, that's one of the things I love is seeing the kids in the stand, because you know that's their dream right now. Those 10, 11-year-olds over there, they just want to play right down there with those guys. They will wait their turn, but right now, Skylar Thompson, it's his turn with the Indian offense, and they're already up 2 touchdowns. He rolls to his right, finds a man in the middle of the field, and hits the target. Look at that, a great catch by number 13, Kevin Rush.
Kevin Rush coming right across the field, ran the skinny post. Thompson able to make the pitch and catch, lead him right to where he wanted him to go with it, and you're going to see just a nice little skinny post route coming right across the middle. Bang, there's the play, there's the pass. Good work.
Nate McGee on the stop. Rush with the catch. It's a 1st and goal on the 6. 1 minute to play in the second quarter. Thompson taking his time, gets the play clock all the way down to 1, and then gives it to Elo rumbling, pushing the pile at the 5-yard line before finally the Red Devils push back.
Kept his legs churning, kept trying to move forward. Chaminade defenders needed 2, 3, 4 guys to help out. As you take a look at the head coach, Ryan Schars, dialing up his next play, try and get another touchdown on the scoreboard here before half. And you see Skylar Thompson getting his guys up to the line of scrimmage very quickly.
20 seconds now. Thompson will go for it on his own. Man misses a block. He dives for it at the pylon. Touchdown, Indians. The 41st touchdown of the season for Skylar Thompson.
And he just got some outstanding blocks out on the edge. Was able to turn the corner. You're going to see one block right there on the bump, and then here's the dive, and gets it just inside the pylon for the touchdown. This young man is very, very special.
He now has to be the holder here on the extra point for Cameron. He kicks it with the right foot. It spins up and through the uprights here at the home of the St. Louis Rams. And it has become a runaway right now for Fort Osage. They are up 3 touchdowns, 35-14 with 13 seconds to go until halftime. And Jim, one of your keys to the game was weathering the storm, and right now it looks like the dam is broke on Chaminade. Fort Osage and Skylar Thompson are running up and down the field.
Yeah, he's just been fantastic for Fort Osage, and Chaminade just hasn't been able to come up with an answer against him here in the second quarter. First quarter, Chaminade did some things and kept it right there, but now offensively you haven't been able to move the ball. Defensively, Skylar Thompson's just absolutely lighting you up. You got to figure out a couple things at half. That 15 minutes in the locker room is going to be very, very important for Antoine Torrey and the Chaminade defensive coaches to try and scheme up a few things to create some confusion for the senior quarterback.
Cameron, a low line drive kick, bounces and will be fielded at the 10. Chaminade, a good return here. Spinning and finally being tackled that time was Andre Whiteley.
Going to have one more shot at it with 7 seconds left in the half. Halftime, we're going to talk a little bit about half number one. Also, our last guest for Show Me Bowl 2015. Actually, he's up right here with us right now, the executive director of the Missouri State High School Activities Association, Dr. Kerwin Erhan. We'll get a chance to visit. Fall championships finish up here in a couple hours, and we get ready to move into the wintertime.
Michael McGovern back in at quarterback. He'd gotten some attention, and he's right back in it. And he's going straight down the field, but he leads his receiver too far. 1 second remains on the clock, as laying out for it was Roderick Campbell, the 6-foot senior.
Campbell with a nice route down the sideline. McGovern just wasn't able to hook up with him, overthrew him just a little bit. McGovern's got a very, very good arm. And sometimes he just gets a little over anxious and overthrows his intended receiver, and we saw that right there.
Good coverage as well by the defensive secondary. You can see the safeties stepping back here to close to the 50-yard line. So 2nd down and 10, 1 second on the clock, and it's gone. He'll throw a bomb down the near sideline. It is caught. It's caught by Reggie Crawford as time expires. A great play, but for naught, as that will end the first half of play. Slow to get up for Fort Osage was number 4, Bryce Richardson, but he's up and okay. Crawford and Chaminade walk off the field down 35-14 here in this Class 5 championship. Chaminade, the first time in the state championship since 1972. We'll see what changes they make at halftime. We'll step aside when we come back. Our halftime show will begin here inside the Edward Jones Dome. We'll be back in a minute.
It's easy to spot people who participated in high school sports and activities.
Right on time.
They learned important lessons like leadership, teamwork, respect.
Hey, our meeting moved to 10.
We'll be ready.
Values that last a lifetime.
We need to focus on 3 factors.
Support high school sports and activities in your community. When kids take part, they get set for life.
William Shakespeare said that all the world's a stage and men and women are merely players. But Mr. Shakespeare never met Stephen Curry. Ni hao, the guy who was in the gym every dang day. Patron saint of the underdog, the league's most unguardable player. Bang, he knocks it down. So my apologies to Mr. Shakespeare, because onto the stage of mere players enters the babyface assassin. And he's about to write his own story. Fall back.
This event is brought to you by Olive Garden. Olive Garden is proud to be the official dining room of high school sports. With menu choices to please the entire family, as well as to-go and catering options, it's the perfect restaurant for your post-game dining. To find your nearest location or to order your meal online, visit olivegarden.com.
Just a reminder, kids who participate in high school activities tend to go a little farther than those who don't. Take part. Get set for life. It's easy to spot people who participated in high school sports and activities.
Right on time.
They learned important lessons like leadership, teamwork, respect.
Hey, our meeting moved to 10.
We'll be ready.
values that last a lifetime.
We need to focus on 3 factors.
Support high school sports and activities in your community. When kids take part, they get set for life.
$35-14 is our score as we welcome you back inside the Edward Jones Dome for this Class 5 championship. Chaminade trails Fort Osage here at halftime. 2 12-1 teams, Jim, and in the early going, both teams had some success offensively, but a real explosion in quarter number 2 has Fort Osage up big now.
Skylar Thompson asserted himself in a big fashion in quarter number 2 and was able to just really do some fantastic things, not only through the air but on the ground. He runs that option offense really well. He's making some good reads. He's making some great decisions, and he's been able to do that all night long. I tell you what, I'm very impressed. I've seen him on film, but now seeing him live and in person, I'm even more impressed about what this young man brings to the table for Fort Osage.
He is as advertised, and that's why he's a Division I commit. On the other side of the ball, you know Antoine Torrey. This game is far from over yet. What do you think his message is here at halftime as he tries to rally the Red Devils down by 3 touchdowns?
You just got to keep maintaining doing what you've done all year long. You've been in this situation against CBC, and you just got to keep doing what we came here to do and how we got here. Continue working hard up front. They're going to have to really figure out some ways defensively to slow down Skylar Thompson. I would like to see maybe, like I said, a spy go in on him. We use a linebacker to kind of do some different things. But offensively, I think they've got to give McGovern a little bit more time. If they can give him another second and a half to make a good decision and get his receivers open, that's going to go a long way. We saw when he was able to pitch and catch to his receivers early, he's got to do the same thing. You're down 3 scores. You've got to do something big in the second half to get things going.
Well, give credit where credit is due. The Fort Osage defense has been one of the big reasons why they're having a hard time moving the ball.
Other than CBC, this is the fastest defense that Chaminade has seen all year long. And, they've got to make those adjustments. You've almost got to go back to that CBC game, the game that they lost earlier this year, and try to figure out, okay, what do we make adjustment-wise at halftime there? Let's maybe try some different things here to kind of shake things up.
Halftime and championship game, the last championship game of the weekend here in St. Louis. We will step aside. When we come back, Jim will be joined with the Executive Director of the Missouri State High School Activities Association, Dr. Kerwin Erhan. Stay right here on Misha.tv.
National studies show that students who participate in activities like music, sports, and drama not only have better grades and attendance, but they develop the character to handle adversity, the grace to accept defeat, and the self-confidence to start over. Take part. Get set for life.
The Greek philosopher Aristotle said, you are what you repeatedly do. But in our book, we say you are what you repeatedly do when things get hard. When you look at the naysayers and the haters, and there's a million of them, but you take it upon yourself to erase all doubt. Get that doubt out of here. So my apologies to Aristotle, but excellence doesn't become a habit by running the same path over and over. The excellent ones just step up to the line and ask, what's the record? Under Armour, get your feet straight.
And we welcome you back to the Edward Jones Dome in downtown St. Louis. Fort Osage out on top of Chaminade by a score of 35-14. I'm Jim Powers, and it's tradition, it seems like anymore, we bring the boss up for the last game, and our last great guest from the Missouri State High School Activities Association, the Executive Director, Dr. Kerwin Erhan. And Kerwin, another unbelievable fall championship season comes to an end here in about an hour and a half.
You know, Jim, it's really been a nice fall. We've been very blessed. We've had great weather throughout the championships. The softball championships, they call for 100% chance of rain on Friday, 90% on Saturday. We played both days, great weather, didn't get wet. It was amazing, you know, and that was pretty much the whole trend for the entire fall. The weather basically came in last week. They kind of affected some of the semifinal games in football. But you know what? It's 72 degrees and sunshine right here this weekend.
Absolutely, and everybody having a great time here at the Dome. And me and Corey were talking about it in the first half. It just seems like this is a tradition, you know, to want to get to the Dome and play in the state championship and play for the hardware.
Well, you know, it's our 20th year here. We started in '96 here in the Dome, and it's a situation where it's a goal for all of our teams to play football. Their goal is we want to make it to the Dome. We want to make it to the Dome. And it's always great to watch the kids walk in for the first time and see this great big barn and their eyes light up. And it makes it special for them because they have worked so hard to achieve that goal. And it's always nice to see them accomplish that.
Absolutely. And it's hard to believe, but winter sports, we're already playing basketball right now.
Basketball has begun. Wrestling has begun. Swimming will start up next week with swimming meets. And so we're right into the winter. And that's good. That's the thing about the school year. It just flows. And we flow from one into another. And, you know, we're excited about the winter season because it gives another group of kids an opportunity to shine.
Absolutely.
And it's not just our sports. Our activities get kicked off. Our speech, debate, and theater, it starts in October. And so they're in full swing now. They're competing, and we're going on.
Absolutely. Now, there's a big initiative. We talked a little bit about this in the wintertime at the basketball championships. Tell everybody about this great initiative that you and a lot of the staff are starting to really implement here in the state of Missouri.
Well, what we've started with is working in conjunction with the Minnesota High School League and Miss Jody Redmond. We started the conversation with our athletic directors about why do we play? Why do we have high school sports and activities? And the reality is that 97% of our kids who play high school sports don't play past high school.
Right.
And so we need to be doing more than just simply giving them the opportunity to play. We need to make sure that they are getting something out of it. And it teaches life lessons. It prepares them to go on once they're out of high school. And we just want to have those conversations, and our schools are enjoying that.
Okay, big hot button this weekend. I've heard a lot. You've heard a lot. Jason West has heard a lot, and the staff. You know, Fox Sports Midwest, it's been the home of the state championships for quite a few years. They declined to renew the contract, and I know that's got a lot of people confused and some mixed stories. You are the boss. Fill everybody in.
Sure. Ultimately, we talked to Fox Sports Midwest about continuing the contract. We liked having the exposure for our kids, for the ability for people to sit at home and watch the games on television. The reality of it is that whenever we talked to them about sharing the cost and helping pay for the production to do what we do here at the championships, they declined that. They did not want to televise our championships where they had to absorb some costs. We made a decision that we were not going to provide the product to them. We're web streaming it, and while you're here today and stuff, and we give that opportunity for people to still have access to it without being here. But ultimately, they made it a business decision that they did not want to pay for it. We had to make a business decision that we were not going to give it to them for free. Hopefully, people will call Fox Sports West, tell them how much they want to watch it, how much they want to see it next year, and we can renegotiate a contract that's beneficial for both parties to be able to get the product out to everyone.
Absolutely, and that's what we're here for. I mean, that's why I do what I do. That's why, you and your staff, we're really here to give exposure to these great student athletes.
Well, for me and these kids, again, this is their highlight of their career. Many of them will never play past their high school years. So if they can show their friends or their children and grandchildren, hey, I played on TV when I was in high school. It's a memory for them. And we want them to have great memories. And the thing about it is, the great thing about it is that they can still show them that because they can buy the DVD of all the games that have been televised and web streamed this weekend. And so we're still giving them the opportunity. But, yeah, for the grandmothers and grandfathers who can't come up to the Dome and don't have high-speed internet, they're at the loss for it. And it's one of those situations where we understand that, but there's really not a whole lot we can do because we can't force them to take and enter into that contract.
Absolutely. Well, it's going to be a great winter season, and the next time me and you talk will be out of Mizzou Arena in March. I'm looking forward to it.
It'll be here before you know it. It'll be a snap of your fingers, Jim.
Kerwin, great seeing you. Thank you so much for everything you do for our student athletes in Missouri.
Thank you, Jim. Appreciate it. You
Dr.
too.
Kerwin Irvine joins us here at the half. When we come back, Corey Riggs will rejoin as we break down the first half, bring you the final numbers from half number 1, and get you set for half number 2. Fort Osage leads Chaminade 35-14 in the Class 5 state championships right here at the Edward Jones Dome. You're on Mission.TV, part of the NFHS network.
William Shakespeare said that all the world's a stage and men and women are merely players. But Mr. Shakespeare never met Stephen Curry. Ni hao, the guy who was in the gym every dang day. Patron saint of the underdog, the league's most unguardable player. Bang, he knocks it down. So my apologies to Mr. Shakespeare, because onto the stage of mere players enters the babyface assassin. And he's about to write his own story. Fall back.
Welcome back. Thanks to Dr. Kerwin Irvine for coming in, visiting with Jim for a few minutes. So we've got a few minutes before we get ready to kick off the third quarter of action here in the final championship game of the weekend. And this is what we've had so far, Jim. On Friday, the 8-man game came down to the final play. Stanberry gets the win 46-42. Likewise in the Class 4 game, Kearney 17, Webb City 14. They win by a field goal in a game where Webb City was going in for the winning touchdown and fumbled it on the 1. Then Class 2 Lamar, not so close.
No.
The Brotherhood from Lamar runs away from Malden 37-0. Then finally Class 6 last night, one of the best we've seen. Blue Springs South gets the win 37-28 over the defending Class 6 state champs, the CBC Cadets. And that really was what big boy football is all about.
Yeah, yesterday, I think this is my 9th Show Me Bowl that I've been a part of, either working, upstairs in level 6 or producing or broadcasting. Yesterday's Friday goes down in my mind as probably the best Friday that we have seen in an awfully, awfully long time. You talk about that 8-man game and how it comes down to the final play. Webb City comes down to the final play, and then the Class 6 guys just absolutely, showing out last night. It was just unbelievable. And I know sitting down at the hotel last night after all was all said and done, talking to some of the Blue Springs South folks, it was really just neat to hear from them, about the experience and being here. And for a lot of those kids, they'd never made the trip to the Dome. And CBC had a phenomenal season. They did everything they needed to do. They just fell a couple plays short. And so you take your hat off to Scott Pingle. But you know what? Blue Springs South this year really deserved to be the state champions.
Everybody talked about Trey Bryant, and he is an incredible talent.
Phenomenal.
He's going to play at Nebraska. But Adam Cofield last night was not only an incredible running back, but with the game on the line and CBC trying to get something going with that quick stride offense, he didn't sack Blake Charlton once. He sacked him on 2 consecutive plays, basically icing the game away.
Absolutely. Cofield, we knew about Adam Cofield and what he can do, but boy, oh boy, did he just absolutely turn that game on its backside in the fourth quarter last night from his linebacker position. Not so much from his running back position, but from his linebacker position.
So then fast forward to today, and we got started with Class 3, and John Burroughs, who had been a runner-up 4 out of the last 5 years, always a bridesmaid, never a bride no more. They take home the hardware in impressive fashion, beating Odessa and their superstar running back Kobe Harden 30-6, leaving no doubt that they will be back too. They were led by a sophomore quarterback and a sophomore running back.
Absolutely, and this Burroughs team is built for the next couple years. And you're exactly right. People here in St. Louis really started questioning whether or not Burroughs would ever win a championship. And I really liked how this team's makeup was this year and liked their mindset coming into today's game against Odessa. Odessa was a phenomenal season. A lot of people talking about them throughout the year, but I think this was a year that Burroughs knew that they could win the whole thing, and they sure did in phenomenal fashion.
Finally, the Class 1 game before ours. Todd Schumacher, John Edwards, who's producing this game for us on the call. And maybe not the most competitive game of the weekend, but is the most historic game of the weekend because Judd Naeger and his team win their 6th straight championship, their 14th overall. They are now alone on the Mission Mountaintop with the most football championships in any class in state history and the only team to win 6 in a row.
It's been going back and forth. They would hold it for 18 hours before Webb City would win. Webb City would hold it for 18 hours before Valley would win. Well, we now have a clear-cut number 1, and that's Valley Catholic. Judd is just, once again, phenomenal coach, and that's a program. And I know John and Todd talked about that, on their broadcast earlier today. Valley Catholic is a program, and that's how they approach it. They don't change things. The kids grow up in the system. They know what it's all about. Congratulations to Judd and everybody down in St. Genevieve. Valley Catholic, your 6-time state champions, 14 overall, the new number 1 when it comes to state championships.
Lammering kicks it away. Whitley and Novelli back for it. They'll fake the handoff. Whitley brings it to the middle of the field and finally gets whacked quickly by Fort Osage. 45, Alec Chavez. He is hands down the special team star. If there is a kick or a punt, he finishes things. And there he is in on the tackle that time, helping out along with 35. That's Jonah Tuamasevi.
Nice work once again. He stayed in his lane, came down from that outside gunner position, was able to make the tackle. That's exactly what you asked for.
So, Chaminade, everybody likes to talk about the second half adjustments. What adjustment do they make here? It looks like they start by working out of the spread, and they'll quickly get it to Whitley on the far side. He loses the ball, but they say he's down on the field after he gets a couple-yard pickup.
Yeah, I believe his knee was down. Good call by the official over on the wing over there. But once again, you're going to see them working out of the spread, trying to get it outside. Good work by this linebacker core of Fort Osage and coming over and making a tackle before he was able to break it for a bigger play.
Numbers on McGovern in the first half, 7-10 for 133 yards. He carried 16 times for 13 yards. Reggie Crawford, the leading receiver, 4 for 129. This time as they bring a man around on the sweep, it'll be number 28. That's Damon Bonds on the carry. And it'll be enough for a Chaminade first down.
Great work in setting the edge that time by Chaminade. You're going to see the kick-out block right there. Got some good work by the wing. And then another block downfield gets the first down. 2 plays, a first down, 11 yards. Positive. That's what you want to start things off with, is just positive yardage, and they were able to do that.
1st and 10 now for the Red Devils. They need a score here on the opening drive to cut it to 2 touchdowns, and that time the run not going very far in the grass that time of Melu Tanamai.
Trying to run right into the teeth of that defense, and you're not going to get much yardage. Coming around from the backside and making the tackle and helping out is Brennan Garnett, but then he runs into the big man, number 99, and he helps finishes things off.
Johnson on the carry, picks up 3. It's 2nd down and 7 now. Man in motion and quickly a flag on the play. It'll be a procedure call against Chaminade.
Movement on the line before the snap. So move the Red Devils back 5 yards, and those are things that Antoine Torrey is not going to put up with. Self-inflicted loss of yardage.
Ryan Schartz on the far sideline. 11 years for Osage and trying to bring home their first ever state championship. The give on the end around here to Bond. Bond spins, gets hit. He stepped out of bounds, though. He thought he had a chance to keep going forward, and he wanted to keep going. It was a good run.
Look at the work up front. Great seal block. And then once again, you got your receivers. You got your buddies in the backfield. They're all getting out on the edge as well. They're making some good blocks. Anytime you can get an 8-yard, 9-yard pickup on that jet sweep, a lot of the credit has to go with the guys that are getting some blocks for you.
Bryce Richardson shoved him out of bounds. 1 yard short of the marker. It's 3rd down and 1 here out of the shotgun. They'll give it right up the middle and nothing doing. The Indians have that one stuffed.
This defense for Fort Osage is just really, really talented. And we're seeing Thomas once again. We've mentioned his name a few times. He just breaks right through and able to wrap and tackle. He's just a beast inside for Fort Osage.
The 3rd leading tackler on the Fort Osage ball team coming into today with 76 total tackles, tied for the team lead in sacks with 10. 2 different Indians have 10 sacks on the season for Fort Osage, and it is 4th down, and Chaminade is thinking about it.
No, there's no thinking. I think they're going. And why not? You've got to get something going here in the early portion of the second half.
Quick snap, McGovern fakes the handoff, comes to the near side of the field, and he's not there, Jim.
If he would have turned it up, instead of trying to extend it, he possibly could have got to the 40. Instead, he tried to bounce it one more time, and that one step back cost him as he's not going to make it to the line of scrimmage. It'll be a turnover on downs. Fort Osage's defense comes to play here in the second half.
Bryce Richardson again on the stop for Fort Osage. Richardson had a couple of tackles on that drive, stopping Chaminade, and they give their offense great field position. One thing you do not want to do when you've got an offense that is already hitting on all cylinders. Listen to the first half numbers for Skylar Thompson. 10 of 12 for 225 yards in the air. 22 rushes for 149 yards. He by himself has accounted for 374 yards of total offense. And just tack on a few more as he's tackled just short of the 10. He goes 30 yards on the run down to almost the 10-yard line, and he's given those Fort Osage fans every reason to be on their feet.
He gets to the edge. He is just so talented. And once again, great downfield blocking. Chaminade's got to chase him down from behind, and you see the crowd. They're getting into it. They're starting to feel a state championship coming out to Fort Osage.
Be 1st down and 10. 12 yards away from the end zone. Thompson flips it out to Bailey Williamson, but Williamson is ankle tackled that time by Taylor Jeffries, one of the other talented corners for Chaminade. And there you got a quick shot of Antoine Torrey. It's been a big year for Coach Torrey. Not only has he brought this Chaminade football program back to prominence, but it was earlier this year that his team out in Colorado, Western State College, their 1991 team was inducted into the school's Hall of Fame. He was a defensive lineman for that college team, and now hoping for one more great award and great accolade this year if he can lead the Red Devils for a comeback victory here in the Class 5 championship. Thompson stands in the pocket, finds a target. It's run out on the far side of the field is Matthew Smith.
Smith once again running a very nice route, drag pattern coming across. Thompson able to step up through the pressure, sees him, and able to make the nice pitch and catch.
Smith, like Thompson, a senior for this Fort Osage team. Coach Short says he's got a high football IQ, and anytime Skylar Thompson needs a big play, it's going to be Smith or Bailey Williamson. You can almost take it to the bank. Here's going to be a big play. 3rd down and 5. Can the Red Devil defense hold them out of the end zone here? Couple of wide receivers to Thompson's left. The pocket collapses. He spins to the far side. He's got a man open for the touchdown. Touchdown for number 5. That's Dante Dodson, another senior. And it's 41-14 now. It's a runaway for Fort Osage.
Now, if you're Chaminade, this is not what you wanted to have happen. But sure enough, you were able to run just another fantastic play offensively. They're really dialing up some really, really good things over there on the Fort Osage side.
Keegan Lammering on for the extra point. He has not missed today. 41 points on the scoreboard for Fort Osage. Good snap, good hold, and good kick. Make it 42, and the Indians are looking for their first ever state title. 7:41 to go in the 3rd, and you're watching the final championship of the football season right here on Misha.tv, powered by the NFHS Network.
This event is brought to you by Olive Garden. Olive Garden is proud to be the official dining room of high school sports. With menu choices to please the entire family, as well as to-go and catering options, it's the perfect restaurant for your post-game dining. To find your nearest location or to order your meal online, visit olivegarden.com.
Fort Osage able to take their first possession of the 3rd quarter and go straight down the field. It's 42-14 our score here inside the Edward Jones Dome. Corey Riggs, Jim Edwards, and our producer, Jim Powers and John Edwards. I tried to turn you guys into one person all of a sudden. That is not an easy task. I combined you two and I've got Frankenstein all of a sudden. Return for Chaminade, brought out that time by number 22, Paul Novelli III. Good return just out past the 20-yard line with 7:36 to go here in this one. Chaminade will take back over in desperate need of a touchdown here. Young Chaminade team here looks to set up the screen, and the Fort Osage defense is up to the task. Again, not fooled by that play was number 35, Jonah Tuimasevi, in on the stop. He's able to knock down Damon Bonds. Bonds, a small, quick running back, 5'10". Also sees some time on the defensive line, a strong running back for this stable of running backs that Chaminade features. 4 wide receivers, almost no gain on first down, and a quick throw on the slant that time just misses. It's behind Reggie Crawford. Crawford, 4 catches, 129 yards, and a couple of scores in the first half. As you see, that time McGovern had time, was able to set his feet. Not too much of a rush by the Indians. He just missed on Crawford as he threw it behind him. So a big 3rd down here for the Red Devils. They'll send 3 wide receivers to the left side of the formation. McGovern awaits the shotgun snap. He has it. The rush is on by Fort Osage. The ball is fought for and caught. There, continuing the run is Roderick Campbell. I thought that one was going to fall incomplete. Instead, Campbell comes up with it, and there's a flag on the play.
Yeah, they're going to tack 15 yards onto this for a personal foul for another horse collar. That's the second one on Fort Osage, if that's what the call is, but I think that's what they're going to get.
Over 30 yards on the catch and run, and tack 15 onto it. That will extend what had already been a big play for Chaminade by tacking 15 onto it. Number 9, Roderick Campbell, the super corner, getting some work on the offensive side of the ball. Jim Dion-Clisso said it with me a couple of times this weekend. It's all hands on deck when you're on Championship Friday or Championship Sunday. Play where we need you.
Absolutely.
1st and 10 now. McGovern, a pump and go. He's got a man. Good coverage that time provided by Fort Osage. That's Kevin Costanzi Jr. They were trying to get it to Paul Novelli, but he was covered up well on the far side of the field.
And we have another penalty flag down as we take a look. Just the pump and go, double move out on the edge. And they're going to call holding on
the initial signal was
Fort
on
Osage. Yeah. So, but no, good pump and go, good position. Just not able to make the catch.
A Chaminade offense that scored over 528 points this season, 14 of those coming today. And they could use 7 more here, down 42-14. McGovern pulls it out of the belly of the back and sends it to Crawford. Crawford knocked out on the near sideline by a couple of different Indians.
Good work out on the edge once again. Chaminade starting to mix things up a little bit. Taking a few shots, getting it out to the edge. That's going to get you back into this ball game. Still a lot of time. You've got to score, though, on this possession, especially inside the red zone.
Jesse Reeser in on the stop, the team's leading tackler with over 117. 2nd down and 6 after the 4-yard gain. They continue to work out of the 4-man set, and they'll go ahead and give it to Bonds on the jet sweep. Bonds with the blocker, finds a seam, dives toward the pylon, but he'll be out of bounds on about the 3-yard line.
Great sportsmanship over on the edge by the guys.
13-yard gain on the sweep, and a couple of Indians slow to get up.
Great blocking, turns the corner, tiptoes around, plants that foot, and turns it upfield.
Yeah, credit Paul Novelli III here with a great block on the edge. And that's got him 1st and goal, ball on the 3. Chaminade needs a score. Can McGovern get one for him here? They stay in the 4 wide. He's going to throw the fade to the corner of the end zone. It's tipped up and out of play.
Good idea, good opportunity, and now coming up limping for Chaminade is Crawford.
Crawford, the leading receiver in the game for Chaminade. Now they'll change out the offensive package, bring in a couple of new linemen and a couple new backs.
Yeah, they're going to go jumbo package right now and trying to get back into the run game.
Now, we haven't seen a lot of this today. Hopeful that maybe that's just a cramp for Crawford. We saw quite a bit of that yesterday. Hydration an issue yesterday, and you've been playing outside. It's been cold. It ain't cold inside the dome, folks. It's a nice blistery 70-plus down there. They drive the pile forward, and taking it into the end zone is 24, Jacoby Buchanan, the sophomore's first touchdown of the day.
They bring in that jumbo package, the extra tight end. They go into that Texas formation with 2 tight. Guess what? We're just going to ram it right down your throat and get the touchdown, and that's what Chaminade did. They've cut it in half now.
Buchanan picks up touchdown number 11 on the season. Bozeski now on to attempt the PAT. Good snap, good hold, and a good kick for Bozeski. So Chaminade able to get points on the board here in quarter number 3. They're down 48-21 with 6:19 to play. This is the Show Me Bowl 2015 edition on Misha.TV, powered by the NFHS Network. Bozeski's PAT is good, the first touchdown of the day for Jacoby Buchanan. And Chaminade on the comeback trail here, down 42-21. 3 men deep, awaiting the kick from Bozeski. He'll try the onside kick here. It's bounced short, and it's fielded by the up man. It's number 35, Tui Masevi, and he's tackled inside the 10. Holy cow!
Big plays on special teams. That's what it's all about. We're going to take a look at it. But I'm going to tell you, this team has it hitting on all cylinders and all facets of the game, Corey. Offensively, they're moving the ball at will. Defensively, they're making stops when they need to. But then overall, special teams, that's what wins you games. And guess what? He's just going to take it up, and he's going to go. Normally, your coaches are telling you, you catch it, you drop. It's almost like the old fire drill, But that time, he's like, I can make my way through, and I can get it down into the end zone, and he almost did.
Starting linebacker up on the front line for that kickoff return. Tui Masevi takes it all the way down to the 7-yard line, and it will be a short field for quarterback Skylar Thompson. Thompson gives it to Elijah. Elo churns the legs, pushes the Red Devil tacklers. It's 4 of them that finally collapse him.
Elo is such a strong kid. You can just tell, how he just keeps his legs moving forward and really just does a fantastic job.
He'll gain about 1 yard.
See, he gets his shoulders squared up. He keeps moving forward, and he's able to pick up that extra yard after being stopped initially at the line of scrimmage.
3 wide receivers in the formation for Thompson. He sends a man in motion from the H-back position. It'll be a design quarterback keeper. He tries to bounce it to the outside. He's ridden down. Is he in? He's down just short on the 1. Coming in to play the role of the H-back that time was the sack master, 66. Seema Thomas was out, the defensive lineman, one of the guys in blocking for Skylar Thompson that time.
Thompson once again getting out on the edge, getting some help from his friends, and is going to be drugged down just about a half yard short.
Nate McGee on the stop that time for Chaminade. 42-21 our score, under 5 minutes to go here in the third. Third down here, and it's Thompson again for 6.
Do you expect anything less? I mean, he has been the man tonight for Fort Osage.
A short quarterback keeper, less than 5 yards away, and he's able to go ahead and take it in. It's 48-21 as we await the kick. Out of the hold of Skylar Thompson. The kick is true for Keegan Lammering, the junior kicker. And I tell you what, Jim, just when the Chaminade fans think they've got things going their way, they get a stop, they get a score, then all of a sudden they don't have an answer for Skylar Thompson on the other end. The Missouri State High School Activities Association wants to thank Wilson. Wilson, the power of teamwork. Wilson is proud to be the official ball of the 2015 Misha Show Me Bowl.
See some members of the band over on the far side. Fort Osage bringing their band over from the Kansas City area, and just a great weekend for football here in downtown St. Louis, and had some great games all weekend long right here on Misha.tv.
Fort Osage set to kick it away again for their head coach, Ryan Schartz. Over 100 wins at Fort Osage, but none may be sweeter than a victory today here in Show Me Bowl. The kick fielded at the 8-yard line. Brought back a good return that time for 22, Paul Novelli. He's tripped up short of the 28-yard line, and that's where Chaminade will take over.
Once again, you see some special teams play here, bringing it right up the middle, following his blockers, and just got tripped up trying to make a cut, or he would have possibly had some more yardage.
You mentioned the Fort Osage band, Jim. The Red and White Brigade put on quite a show at halftime here while we were tending to other matters, but they were working hard down on the field. McGovern still working hard. The junior quarterback dances around in the pocket and finally brings it out himself. He's got first down yardage and more.
That's just great work by the quarterback, McGovern. Saw the pocket breaking down around him, and he sees the opening, and he's going to step through, and he's got nothing but green grass in front of him until about the 50-yard line or so. But what a nice job by the junior, recognizing, not trying to force a pass, stepping into the pocket and getting some big yardage.
McGovern doesn't normally run it a lot, but this is a team that gained almost 3,500 yards on the ground this season between the backs. Now they'll screen it out to the near side, and Bonds has room and has blockers. Bonds down the near sideline. He will take it 50 yards to the house, and the Red Devils storm right back down the field.
3 possessions, 3 touchdowns between the two, and the track meet is opened up here in the last championship game of the weekend. Great pitch and catch. Bond's doing an outstanding job getting to the corner, and he gets a great block by Crawford that helps bring him into the end zone. And good work by the Red Devils.
And it's good to see Reggie Crawford back on the field. He came off limping after that last drive and wasn't sure if he was cramping or if he had a legitimate lower extremity injury and ankle, some sort of injury to the ankle or the foot. Now Bozeski's kick is up and through, and just like that, these two title contenders trade shots. It's 49-28, Fort Osage on top of Chaminade. More of Show Me Bowl 2015 after this.
William Shakespeare said that all the world's a stage and men and women are merely players. But Mr. Shakespeare never met Stephen Curry. Ni hao, the guy who was in the gym every dang day. Patron saint of the underdog, the league's most unguardable player. Bang, he knocks it down. So my apologies to Mr. Shakespeare, because onto the stage of mere players enters the babyface assassin. And he's about to write his own story. Fall back.
Chaminade kids have something to smile about as they look to our cameras. They're back in it again. It's 49-28, 21-point game. 4 minutes to go here in the third quarter and all of the fourth quarter. If the Red Devil defense can get as fired up as their offense, they've got a chance here. Bozeski puts the right foot to it. That one will sail into the end zone for a touchback.
Talk about Chaminade and some of their great success as of late. Everybody in the state of Missouri knows who Jason Tatum is, and this Chaminade basketball team is loaded coming into this season. Nationally ranked in USA Today to start the season, I believe at number 11 in the opening poll for the USA Today. And, you know, it's an exciting time at Chaminade, and they made it to the Show Me Showdown last year, fell just a little bit short, ended up in third place. A lot of aspirations, but it's really great to see the kids, you know, here supporting the football team at the Show Me Bowl, and then they'll get out to the courts. The home opener for Chaminade is Wednesday night.
Blue Springs South, who won the state championship in football last night, won the Class 5 boys title a year ago. A few of those players will be back. Skylar Thompson will not be back for Fort Osage a year from now as he picks up 9, as he will continue his career in college. So many of these seniors, a bittersweet day, an opportunity to end your playing career with a win or a loss, and only one team in each class can do it right now. Fort Osage on the upside of that, and you see Coach Torrey wondering, how do you slow this guy down?
You know, I'm sitting here thinking about that as well. I'm not sure if you can. He is just so special.
Well, they're going to have basically 8 on the line here as they've got a tight formation with a couple of receivers to the far side. The give to Elo will test the left side. Pardon me, that's not Elo, that's 24. The running back, Bailey Williamson. It's been a while since we've mentioned Williamson. He had a big part of the success of the offense in the first half, really the first carry or the first catch of any kind here in quarter number 3 for him. Look at, he's tackled finally there by 53, big Justin Wims.
Yeah, the problem with that play, though, is your safety had to come up and make the tackle. Safeties can't be coming up and making the tackle in a game like this where you're trying to chip your way back. Your line's got to step up and say, I got to do something.
We told you, Chaminade on the season, plus 15 in the giveaway takeaway column. They could really use to force a turnover here. Stiff arm. This time it is Elo, and he's shoved right out of bounds, about a yard short. 9 yards on the first down run for Elijah Iloilo.
Going to see the Indians go into a little bit of a ball control type offense right now. Run clock, try to extend the drive. You don't need to get it all in chunks. If you get 3-4 yards of crack, start grinding some clock because they know this Chaminade team can score at any given time.
The offense for Chaminade averaged 40 points a game. Their defense barely gave up 17. Fort Osage has flipped that script today, scoring just one shy of 50. Iloilo sandwiched between a couple of Red Devil defenders. The ball comes out. I think they're going to call him down already. Smothering it quickly for Fort Osage was 72. Their big offensive lineman, Philip Kamerlink. Here you see Iloilo, 3 guys in there, and wow, what a great job by Luke Hanley, their stud linebacker, to reach in there and strip it out, but they'd already whistled his progress dead.
Oh, he's going to have to be strong with the ball. That's what Chaminade's going to be doing now. They're going to be trying to cause that turnover.
3rd down and 4, the Red Army making some noise here. Can the Red Devils get a stop? Thompson with trips to the near side, back to pass. He'll go ahead and run to the far side of the field. He turns the corner in front of Johnson, and he's got another Fort Osage first down. He's right at it.
When he gets to the edge, there's just another gear that he slides it into because he's so smooth. He gets out, he knows that he's going to have to turn the corner, and then boom, steps up, gets to the sideline, gets out of bounds before he takes a shot. Good work by the quarterback.
This is the 2nd straight year that the Class 5 championship game has featured 2 teams that have never won here in Show Me Bowl. Last year, one of the newest high schools in the state, Columbia Battle, won it all in what was one of the most physical games I have seen in a couple years against Rich Rehagen's Nixa Eagles. On first down, Bailey Williamson almost goes 10 yards on the first down carry. Jim, you remember that game. You were down on the field. I was down on the field as well. There were so many helmet cracks and shoulder pad pops. Those 2 teams just beat the tar out of one another.
There were bodies flying during that game, and you're exactly right. That game, in my mind, is one of the most physical battles that I've seen in an awfully long time.
And not dirty.
Not at all. It was just
hard smash mouth football. Battle got the better of Nixa in that game. Today, Fort Osage looking for their first championship, and a great move there again by the QB Thompson. Johnson has him for Chaminade. Watch the replay. He's got him beat to the spot, and watch this move. Whoop! Hits the brakes, comes back the other way, and gets the first down.
Plants that foot, comes back across the grain, and he gets enough for the first down. Just a mark of a very, very talented young man.
Play clock continues to roll here. Fort Osage, as Jim told you, in no hurry here, up 21. Starting to use the clock. All the way down to 2 on the play clock, and Thompson again will keep it. He turns upfield as he rounds the left tackle. Picks up about 6 yards. Luke Hanley in on the tackle for Chaminade. The offensive line blowing big holes for Thompson to run through.
And that most likely was the last play of the quarter. They're going to let this thing wind down. They're in no hurry. They know that they've got the game in hand. They've just got to not turn it over and be very, very conscious of what they're doing play calling wise.
The Indians were here in the Dome in 2012, and they fell to Kirkwood. They are looking to rectify that mistake here with 1 more quarter to play. Fort Osage has 12 minutes to try and hold on to their first ever championship and Show Me Bowl. We'll be back with the 4th quarter after this on Misha.tv, a proud partner of the NFHS Network.
I knew before it even left my hand. Why? Because every shot I take is the most important one of my life.
Welcome back inside the Dome. Corey Riggs, Jim Powers, John Edwards, and the Misha.TV crew in the final quarter of play of the 2015 football season. It started way back in August, and there's nothing left but 12 minutes. Skylar Thompson on the second down play. Look at him go again. Thompson inside the 20, down to about the 16 before he's tackled by Taylor Jeffries.
And what a way to, watch, the final game of the year with such an outstanding quarterback in Skylar Thompson.
The play fake so good he even got the camera guy that time. Those guys don't make mistakes, but Thompson, the great give, he pulls it out and able to go back around the corner and take it down for another first down run. And again, they are meticulous in working the clock right now, down to 5 seconds on the play clock.
Does such a nice job running the read option offense.
They're going to go for it all here. The touchdown pass to the far side of the field is caught for the touchdown. It's caught by number 13, Kevin Rush. Rings it in. Rush picks up TD number 4 on the year.
Back shoulder throw, able to just come around and make just an outstanding pitch and catch, and you're going to see it right here. Throws it to where nobody else is going to get it but his receiver. But look at the time he's getting. That offensive line is just putting in work and giving, Thompson a lot of room to maneuver.
Harris, Lassiter, Camerlink, Roller, some of the big guys up front, the unsung heroes of most football teams that continue to do the dirty work and are able to get things done. And again, Fort Osage sees what Chaminade does. They bring the ball down the field, and just like that, they come back and answer with a touchdown. Remember, you can protect yourself and those around you by getting your flu vaccine. It's your best defense against the flu. To find a flu vaccine clinic near you, go to mo.gov and click on the flu vaccine locator. This message brought to you by the Missouri Department of Health and Health and Senior Services and your friends at the Missouri State High School Activities Association.
Skylar Thompson, how about this? 4 touchdown passes. He's run for 3. He's had a hand in 7 touchdowns in his last game as a high school football player. And unbelievable.
We're not done yet either.
No, not at all.
That is going to end up being a look into the record book to see where Skylar Thompson may fall. And we've seen some records this week, Jimmy. There they fake the handoff on the kickoff return. Nice wheels this time, and a great big return for Chaminade. Running down the near side is Novelli, and he's knocked out of bounds. Big time return for Paul Novelli III, the senior.
Setting the table, trying to get his offense a little bit of room to work, but you're just going to see some outstanding work on special teams. Great block coming down. Jeffries springing them for a few more yards, and now Chaminade has the ball in very, very good field position.
So when you dig into the Misha scoring book and you look for the records, the most points scored by a single player is Derek Washington of Ray-Pec against Kirkwood. He had a 5-touchdown day. That record is gone out the window. McGovern throws to the far side. Bonds has it. They pick up 5 yards on the reception on first down. And that's not where it ends either.
No.
There's going to be more, too. If you flip through the record book that Misha provides, they've got passing touchdowns. And you're not going to believe who number 1 on that list is, but the 6-time championship coach, your buddy from Valley Catholic, Jim.
Judd Dager did it back in 1995 against Wellington Napoleon. So, no, and he's going to have his name in that regard. But, yes, what a day for Skylar Thompson. Chaminade trying to make something happen now as they cross midfield. They get a first down on a nice play out on the edges. They pitch and catch it over to Bryce Johnson, the junior. and you'll get a chance to take a peek here. Swing pass over, picks it up off of his shoelaces, and gets out to the edge.
Shoved out of bounds by a couple of Indians that time. You see it from our end zone camera there. Tries to cut it back inside, but the defensive players stay home and bring him down, but not until Chaminade collects the first down. 1st and 10 from the 40 now. The clock ticks ever closer to 10 minutes until the conclusion of the season. Boy, running in free that time. There's going to be a flag on the play. And that time, one of the Fort Osage defenders, that should be Jesse Reeser, and it is, was flying to the quarterback, McGovern, running for his life the other way here.
Untouched off the edge.
He
coming
just
on
slept.
just a straight blitz off the edge.
Reeser has found his way to the quarterback on more than one occasion this year. Reeser takes him down. If that was behind the line of scrimmage, and it is, that's his 11th sack of the season. That's a team high.
Well, it all depends. There's some rules about that. Whether it was a run or whether it was a sack, it's not cut and dry like it is in the NFL.
Nope, it's a lot easier that way. But a penalty is going to change all of that anyways. It's against the offense, 5 yards, and they'll push him back. So none of that really happened anyway.
So it wouldn't have mattered, so to say.
What does matter in here, though, is whether or not Michael McGovern can get the offense moving north and south again. He hands it off and quickly knocked out of bounds again. It's Damon Bonds, who cannot get the corner turned, cannot get his shoulders turned. The Fort Osage defense, great pursuit.
Great work on this side, coming over once again. And just great team speed. There's Alex Chavez once again making another play.
Chavez has been a standout on special teams tonight. That's the first big grab he's had on the defensive side of the ball. They give Bonds 1 yard. It's 2nd and 14 from the 44. McGovern has his ball tipped at the line of scrimmage. They dove for it, but they won't come up with it. Number 35, it's Jonah Tuimasevi getting his hands on it. It was almost picked by Chavez, but it fell just short.
McGovern just couldn't get it up in the air quick enough as it's going to go off the hands of Tuimasevi. Great leaping ability by Tuimasevi just to get his fingertips on it.
And it's always great to see those pass rushers. If you're not going to get to the quarterback, what do? It's like playing defensive basketball. Get your hands up.
Absolutely.
5 seconds on the play clock now. The shotgun snap to McGovern. He's got a defender in his face, and that one is going to be an interception. They almost got him on the last play. This time they don't miss. Elijah Penniman, the senior, with the pick.
Penniman reads it, gets over, gets into the coverage, and able to scoop that up just before it hits the ground. And this Fort Osage team is just, their team defensive speed, Corey, is just unbelievable.
See McGovern, and they're reading the eyes of the quarterback that time. He was locked in. You knew he was going to Bryce Johnson the whole way. Never took his eyes off of him. Give credit to the defense. Read the eyes of the quarterback, and you know where the ball's going to end up. Skylar Thompson brings him out again. 56-28 our score. 9 minutes remains on the clock, and Thompson calls his own number. Won't gain much on that first down play.
Right now, if you're Chaminade, you're playing for pride. You're playing to represent your school and represent the St. Louis area in the Metro Catholic Conference, and they've been such a great representative of the St. Louis area all year long. And you just want to get out of here healthy. You want to maintain your class, your dignity, and still have a little bit of fun.
I tell you what I liked out of Antoine Torrey and his team was the fact that you talk about class, you talk about pride, you also see support. They came out here last night. They didn't have to come out last night, but they did. They came out to support another Metro Catholic Conference team. They came out to root for CBC, a CBC team that beat them earlier this year, and Coach Torrey calls that the wake-up call of their season when they fell to the defending Class 6 champs.
Tell you what, here's the deal. If the score holds, you're going to fall to 12-2. But your 2 losses, defending Class 6 champion and state runner-up CBC and
the new Class 5
champion. That's not too shabby.
Matthew Smith picks up the first down for Fort Osage. They've got 3 wideouts to the bottom of the screen, and they'll give it to Elijah Elo, who's got first down yardage, and I don't think they'll catch him. Elo, 49-yard touchdown run.
Wow, and wow. Unbelievable speed. Just really a great job in seeing the hole and then just breaking it through and getting to the end zone and breaking a couple tackles along the way. And those folks over on the opposite side, they're starting to feel that trophy. It's coming to Fort Osage.
I told you the good news if you're a Class 5 football fan is that Skylar Thompson will be in college next year. The bad news is Elijah Elo is only a sophomore. The extra point is tacked on. Holy cow, folks. Fort Osage and Chaminade running up the scoreboard. The guy's getting tired. It's 63-28. We've got 7:41 to play in this one. We'll be back in just a minute.
This event is brought to you by Olive Garden. Olive Garden is proud to be the official dining room of high school sports. With menu choices to please the entire family, as well as to-go and catering options, it's the perfect restaurant for your post-game dining. To find your nearest location or to order your meal online, visit olivegarden.com.
Just a reminder, kids who participate in high school activities tend to go a little farther than those who don't. Take part. Get set for life.
Welcome back inside the dome. Chaminade on the kickoff brings it out to the 26-yard line, and Skylar Thompson now. Well, he didn't score that last touchdown. That one belongs to Elijah Elo.
Elo gets the big touchdown, and yeah, this has just been, for Fort Osage, it's exactly how you drew it up. It's exactly how you wanted it to go, and the floodgates have opened up on Chaminade in that second quarter, and that's where this game kind of got out of hand.
Going to try and get the combined yardage on the ground and in the air for Skylar Thompson. Think he may be getting close to the record books in the total offense category, but here Chaminade runs for a first down, a good carry that time, a strong carry by number 21. That's Bryce Johnson. And the one thing for Chaminade, Jim, that I'm surprised, Darius Days has been somewhat absent here in the second half.
Very quiet.
And I don't mean that he's been quiet. I don't know that I've seen him on the field. I don't know if he may have been injured and we didn't see it. But over the course of the back rotation, we've seen a lot of Johnson, a lot of Bonds, some Jacoby Buchanan, but haven't seen Days in a while. McGovern now is taken down, and I don't care what the rule is, that's a sack.
Yes, that absolutely is a sack. And McGovern right now is just running for his life. This team speed for Fort Osage is just unbelievable on the defensive side. They do such a great job in getting to the quarterback and forcing the offensive line to just not be able to get onto their blocks.
Big Zach Ingram, a 6'5" senior wearing number 92, splits that sack with another teammate, and they push him back 5 yards. Second down and 15 now, ball on the 32, and they rush him again, and that's Ingram, and he almost got a pick. He just had a sack, and he almost got the interception thrown right at his knees.
Yeah, they were setting up for the screenplay, and it was just not going to happen. Once again, when you have teams with speed like this, that screen is awfully tough to try and set up because you need some different things in order for that to take place. So third down for Chaminade. Coming up on 5 minutes to go in the ball game with Fort Osage out on top. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to Mission.TV all weekend long. We've had a great weekend in bringing you some of the best student athletes in the state of Missouri.
Third and 15 now. McGovern with a hand in his face again. and that one just out of the outstretched arms, that time of Reggie Crawford. 454 yards will be a new Misha record. Those stats are unofficial, just what we're keeping in the booth here. The all-time total offense stat, rushing, passing combined, is held by DeSmet's Tommy Corwin back in 2005 when they knocked off Hazelwood Central in the Class 6 championship game. 453 yards was the total. Chaminade now set to punt it away here on 4th and long. A wobbly punt. They didn't bring anybody back. Chaminade will touch it up on the 34-yard line, and with a little more than 4 minutes to go, the clock continues to run here. Fort Osage up big, 68-23.
I remember that game awfully well. That was my first Show Me Bowl, and watching Tommy Corwin just absolutely go to town was just unbelievable. And, you know, he was a lot of fun to watch when he, you know, played for Pat Mahoney. And, you know, Pat Mahoney actually, you know, stepping down this week as the head coach for DeSmet, and we want to wish him, you know, all the best of luck in his future endeavors in retirement. One of the great guys. He's been here and done it before, winning a state championship.
Turbo clock continues to spin, 3:30 now, and watch Thompson as he does nothing but watch the play clock. It gets under 5, and he'll go ahead and let him snap it. Elo runs out of an arm tackle, and oh, here we go again. Elo spins. He finally is tripped up by Taylor Jeffries and number 24, Jacoby Buchanan. They stop him after a first down run.
Going to see Coach Ryan Scharz start to bring in some of the JV guys. You're seeing the signs over on the far side. It's going to be a fun trip back to Kansas City for Fort Osage tomorrow, as they're going to have some extra baggage to bring back home with them.
Something that they've never had to take back before. They've made 2 trips in 2009 and 2012. Ryan Scharz and this team have been here before, but they've never been able to close the deal. Elo gets another yard or 2. It'll be second down. You see some of the assistant coaches on the far sideline. Guys were great to talk to, went down along with the PA announcer, Bo Bunton. They were loose. They were having a good time before this game started. The right attitude you want to have on a championship Saturday. The student section has the fat heads out. They've got signs. They know it's coming. 2 minutes and 5 seconds now. The only thing that stands between them and a Class 5 trophy is time. Now under 2 minutes, and Thompson taking his time. The play clock under 5 again, and he'll wait for the snap. Elo is out. The give is to 48 that time. And that's Clarence Coppridge.
It's starting to wind down here in the Class 5 championship. 90 seconds to go.
Coming off the field now is the senior. Now listen to this. They've been here 2 times before today. Skylar Thompson is a senior, but he's been on the field for every state championship game. In 2009, he was Ryan Shart's ball boy.
Yep.
In 2012, he was a freshman. Now he leads his team into the record books and into a championship run, scoring 63 points as Coppridge carries again on 3rd down and 10.
And you can see over on the Fort Osage sidelines, a lot of hugging. Well-deserved state championship heading over to the Kansas City side. But I tell you what, you got to look at this Chaminade team. They're going to be back in the mix next year without any doubt. With all these young kids, their future is very, very bright.
Signs and phones out everywhere trying to capture the championship moment. The backup quarterback into the game now is Caleb Jonas. Jonas, a senior. There's a flag on the play. That will be the only thing that can stop the clock here with 17 seconds.
Personal foul. Mismatch on the defense. 15 yards. First down.
So a 15-yard face mask penalty.
And
says referee Bob Wade, they will set the ball for play, and Fort Osage will not have to snap it again. They get the first down, and our cameras showing you the far sideline. Signs like, "We love you, coach." And look, they are bouncing, jumping. They are unbelievably happy right now because finally Fort Osage has broke through. They are state champs in Class 5.
You want to talk about class? Antoine Torrey walking across, clapping his hands as he's going to meet the Fort Osage kids. That's the mark of just a class coach.
Ryan Schartz brings his team out to meet the Chaminade Red Devils. A lot to be proud of in St. Louis for Chaminade, the state runners-up this year in Class 5. John Burroughs, a state championship. CBC, a state runner-up finish. But today, the kings of Class 5 are the Indians from the Kansas City area and Fort Osage, as they are able to claim the crown here in a runaway, 63-28, and an absolute offensive display put on by Skylar Thompson and Elijah Elo. Those two players did so much today, and you've said it more than once, Jim. The defense for Fort Osage stymied a Chaminade offense that has been tremendous all year.
Absolutely, and you knew you had great offensive weapons, but it was the defense for Fort Osage that won them that game. This Chaminade team can score at will at any given time, and then they did in the first couple possessions. But then Fort Osage, their defense settled in. They dug their heels into the dirt, and they were not going to let Chaminade do anything else.
For Chaminade, McGovern, their junior quarterback, finishes the day with 240 yards in the air. Crawford, 128 yards receiving. The leading rusher was Damon Bonds with 48. For Fort Osage, listen to these. Thompson, 13 of 15 passing. He only missed twice. 259 yards and 4 passing TDs. He had 22 rushes for just 5 yards short of 200, 195 yards and 3 touchdowns. Elo, just short of 100 yards on 13 carries.
It's a pretty good day of work.
It is a great day of work, and it has been a great job, and it's been our pleasure to bring you all of the state championships this Thanksgiving weekend from Show Me Bowl as the Misha officials try to work together to hand out the last 2 trophies of the weekend. We had 4 champions crowned yesterday. This is the 7th and final championship of the fall sports season. Chaminade ready now to accept the state runner-up trophy. Don Maurer down on the field.
Corey Johnson also presenting, one of the Misha board members, to the seniors for Chaminade. And this Chaminade team, it like I said earlier, is going to have a very, very bright future.
It's hard to appreciate right now, but in the future, these young men will know just what an incredible accomplishment this day was in this season, because the season is always about more than just one game or one afternoon. Bo Button now announces the championship.
And there it is.
Eric Churchwell presents the trophy, and he is mobbed by the Fort Osage Indians. They finally break through. All that time without a championship, and so close in recent history. A 31-14 loss to Webster Groves. A loss 31-7 to Kirkwood. 2 St. Louis teams beat them in their 2 previous trips. Today, the Indians exact their revenge on Chaminade and hoist the Class 5 championship trophy.
Absolutely, Corey. A lot of people to thank real quick before we start to go off the air. Jason West, Joey Calfee from the Misha staff. They do such a great job in organizing all the media and everything. Dr. Kerwin Erhan and the rest of the office staff there. You know, great work by those guys. Harvey Richards, finishing up his fall championships as he's getting ready to retire after this year. Tim Kinnick, our executive producer with Play On Sports, and all the guys that have been the voices of it, and Nick Thompson and the rest of the crew here at the Dome filming all the sights and sounds for us.
That will do it. That wraps up Show Me Bowl 2015. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you when Winter Sports turns the page next.